original team to Baltimore. But what if the Browns had never left and instead ended up with everything New England has? Super Bowls, Bill Belichick, and most importantly, Tom Brady. Indeed, it was all possible. And it's easy to play the what-if game with a number of teams in the NFL when it comes to Brady, passed over 198 times in the draft. But Cleveland, more than any other team in the league, could have had Brady if it wasn't for the Browns relocating to Baltimore. Let's break it down. From 1991 to 1995, Bill Belichick was the head coach of the first edition Browns before the franchise was uprooted by Modell. If that move never happened, Belichick and his 34 wins, the most of any Browns coach in the last 30 years, is never fired and still coaching in Cleveland. But Modell was looking for a fresh start in Baltimore, one he wouldn't have needed, and the Browns, not the Patriots, could have been the model franchise everyone is aspiring to be, with Belichick leading the way, and the key, they used one of their league-leading 13 draft picks to select Tom Brady in the 2000 NFL Draft. Brady, as you remember, was not the undisputed starter at Michigan. His stats, 16 touchdowns, 2,217 yards, and then a mediocre combine performance. None of it jumped off the page. But Belichick and his staff had still seen something in Brady that they liked, and seemingly everyone else had missed. Patriots quarterback coach, the late Dick Ray-Ban, was the key. Ray-Ban was high on Brady's leadership skills, his mental makeup. And after
Welcome into our Sunday night stream, our watch party. It is the Cowboys and it is the Saints. I am Josh Hill. That's Matt Verderam. We're going to have a rotating gallery of experts coming in here. Patrick Schmidt is coming in. John Bueller will be coming in, who you've seen on these streams before. And just remember, this is a stream only. We are not streaming the game. We are commentating on the game, and we're going to be talking about everything that happened, both this week, next week, what's happening in the game, everything. But Verderam, before the game starts Sunday night, let's dive into what we saw here in Week 4. And let's start on Thursday night with the Eagles and the Packers. The Eagles win 34-27. And are the Eagles back?
They're somewhat back. Look, they didn't play great. They were bad early. They had to hold on late, but they won at Lambeau, and you got to feel good about that.
Yep.
The defense got a lot of pressure as that game wore on. I think that's what you feel best about, is that defensive line really got to Rodgers, forced the issue, created some mistakes. I don't think the Eagles ever left. I think they were hurt.
Yeah.
But look, at 2-2, you feel like, okay, look, we survived. Now we can roll from here. So I think the Eagles are still in fine position. I think they're very good.
What about the Packers? How many pegs do you knock them down after what you saw?
Not many. I mean, they're 3-1. They're still a really good team. The defense is still good. They did struggle against Philly, but I think they'll be fine. Look, it's them and the Bears in the NFC North. So I think if you're a Packers fan, you got to feel good. You've got Aaron Rodgers. And I think as long as that's the case, with a good defense attached to him, that should be a team that is very dangerous come January.
Let's move on to the Sunday slated games. One of the more surprising games, the Titans 24-10 over the Atlanta Falcons. Are the Titans the best team in the AFC South?
I don't know. The AFC South, dude, you have everybody sided 2-2. Look, I think the Titans are in the conversation. I certainly think they're as good as any of these other teams, right? But it's weird. You know, the Titans, they look like world beaters week 1.
Yeah.
Then they lose to the Colts. Then they get blown out by Jacksonville. Then they blow out Atlanta. There's all these different things that are telling you, well, they're good. They're not that good. I think the Titans are what they've been so far, which is a decent team that could beat anybody on a given week, and they can lose to anybody on a given week. I think they're about an 8-8 football team, and I think that in the AFC South, that might qualify them as the best team. We're going to find out.
Is Dan Quinn coaching the Atlanta Falcons in 2020?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. Look, and Arthur Blank's not a guy to make rash decisions. He's always been somebody who's held on. Just ask Mike Smith. But I don't think you can go forward like this. Look, they have been taking steps back ever since the Super Bowl appearance. And one could argue they never got their footing after that Super Bowl appearance and how that thing went down.
Yeah.
So, look, I think ultimately he has been bedeviled by injuries. The line has not been good. You could blame Thomas Dimitroff for that as much as Dan Quinn. Yeah. But reality is reality. They're 1-3. They are more talented than a 1-3 football team. And that's usually something to get a coach fired. You underperform, you're out pretty quick in the NFL.
Moving north from Atlanta, we had the Bills and the Patriots. The Patriots win 16-10. Tom Brady didn't have that great of a day. The defense, it's dominant, but we don't know how we feel about it. How worried should Patriots fans be after a 16-10 game against the Bills?
I mean, not worried. Look, they're 4-0. They're one of 3 AFC teams over 500, okay? It's the Pats, the Bills, and the Chiefs. So I think if you're New England, yeah, it's ugly. It didn't look great, but you won. Now, I don't think they should be worried. I would say the concern is the offense. The offense has not been great.
No.
Now, look, week 1, they looked very good. They've not been terrific by any stretch since then. You could talk about it, Antonio Brown being gone. I'd point out, look, James Devlin not being there is a big deal. Yeah. David Andrews, the center, not being there for the year is a big deal. So when you look at them, I think this is a team that's going to have to win defensively. And certainly they've shown they can. But we haven't really seen that defense tested against anybody who's that good offensively. So I don't think you're worried. I do think you realize there are some concerns.
And the 16-10 box score doesn't really do justice to the fact that the Bills were on the move to take the lead at the end of the game. But Matt Barkley was the quarterback, not Josh Allen, who leaves after a head injury. Can the Bills survive without Josh Allen?
It depends how long he's out. If it's a game, sure. If it's a month, no. Matt Barkley's not winning many games in the NFL. So the plus side for the Bills is they have 3 wins, and they still have the Dolphins twice. They have the Jets once at home. So I think the Bills, they're in great position to be a wildcard team. Yeah. Now, it's 4 games in, but right now, you got to say, like I just mentioned, you have 3 AFC teams that are over 500. Well, the Bills are one of them, and you just played the Pats once. So I think it's disappointing. You feel like you could have won the game. They had a blocked punt for a touchdown. They only give up 9 points defensively. So I think if you're the Bills, you're actually walking away from this game feeling confident even though you lost.
Moving over to Detroit, the Chiefs and the Lions. The Chiefs win 34-30, but it was dicey there for most of the game.
Yep.
How much of a fluke was this for the Chiefs as far as the cardiac kingdom should be concerned?
I mean, I think it's like I kind of said about New England. I think it's a situation where you went on the road. It was an ugly game. You won. Yeah. You move on. They didn't have any injuries. I think you feel good about that, at least what we know of. Look, the Chiefs are not always, as great as Mahomes and offense is, they're not always going to be this symphony that's in perfect tune that's going to score 45 points. Yeah. Sometimes you have to win a game like this. Well, they did. I mean, nobody's going to walk away saying, hey, great, looked awesome. But they as bad as they were offensively, they scored 27 offensive points in the game. Yeah. They got 100-yard scoop and score. It's the first time that's happened in 20 years that any team in the league has done that for 100 yards. So if you're the Chiefs, like you won, you're 4-0, 3 of those wins on the road. Now 4 of your next 5 are at Arrowhead.
Is it time to put respect on the Lions after what we saw today?
Yeah, they earn my respect. Look, I kind of thought coming into the game, look, this is going to be the game where they get shown exactly who they are, and we kind of learn more about them. And I got to give Detroit full marks. They played really well. They did not have Darius Slay. They were losing guys left and right out of that secondary as the game wore on. Mm-hmm. Now, look, you could sit there and play the injury game all day long. Tyreek Hill wasn't there. Eric Fisher wasn't there. Maybe the game's different if those guys are there. But Detroit hung tough. They ran the ball like crazy. Stafford played well. They had the game-winning drive that ended up not being a game-winning drive, but they drove down and put it in when they had to. I thought if the Lions play that well every week and they clean up the turnovers, they're going to win most games.
The Oakland Raiders, they come into Indianapolis and they beat the Colts 31-24. Jacoby Brissett unable to make the comeback happen. Do either of these teams, the Raiders or the Colts, end up making the playoffs at the end of the year?
The Raiders, no. The Colts, maybe. The division is just so much easier. Mm-hmm. The Raiders are 2-2. You give credit to that, and they've won a couple conference games. The problem for the Raiders is they have a very, very tough schedule.
Yeah.
They still have to go to Arrowhead. They still have to play the Chargers twice. They still have at Houston. They still have at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you look at that slate, I just don't see a whole lot of W's. So, no, I don't think the Raiders are going to get in, but give them a ton of respect for winning. The Colts, on the other hand, look, they're 2-2 like everybody else in the AFC South. The good thing for them, they already have a division win.
Yeah.
So, could they get in? Sure. I like their chances better than I like the Raiders.
The Chargers go down to Miami and, unsurprisingly, hand the Dolphins another loss, 30-10. When are the Dolphins going to get their first win, if ever?
3 years from now. No, in all seriousness, I don't know. Maybe when they play the Jets. The Jets appear the easiest mark on the schedule, right? I know on our Stacking the Box podcast, Jeff Schwartz said maybe week 16 against Cincinnati at home. maybe that's a good call. But, man, they're awful. They are an awful team, man. Usually, even as bad teams go, one guy, one side of the ball is at least respectable. They are horrible, and horrible by design.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know if they get a win. I think they will, but it's going to be a while.
The Chargers get the Broncos and the Steelers next, and then perhaps their best test of the season so far in the Bears. Do they get to 4-2 heading into that Bears game?
I think they do. They're home for both those games. Like with Roethlisberger, I would have picked the Steelers, not without him.
Okay.
Denver is just in the tank, 0-4. I don't know where you go from here if you're Denver, man. Their season's over.
Well, we'll get to them.
Yeah, we will. But I think the Chargers should win these games. They will get to 4-2. The question is, can they gain on Kansas City in that time frame? They're 2 games back of them. But I do think they get to 4-2. I do think they go into Chicago feeling good, and that would set up a great game. But look, right now, the Chargers are 2-2. They can't feel great about where they are, but they're also not dead and buried. So it's kind of where they go from here.
Speaking of not dead and buried, the Washington Redskins,
they're
lose
dead and buried
to the New York Giants 24-3 today. Daniel Jones gets another win. The rumors were whether or not Jay Gruden's going to eventually get fired here. We saw Dwayne Haskins come into the game.
It's not good.
Is that a Hail Mary signal from Jay Gruden to try and save his job?
Yeah, I think it is. Look, you know what? If nothing else, I think he just recognizes at some point here the change has to be made.
Yeah.
Haskins was awful. 9-17, 3 picks against the Giants. It can't cover anybody. So if you're the Redskins, I don't know what you do now. Now you have to stick with him, though. You brought him in. You brought him in. Now it's got to be his show. So if he wasn't ready, that was a disaster. I don't know how you now go back to Keenum. You have to stick with Haskins. He did not look good. They're terrible. I don't know where you go if you're the Redskins. It was a bad loss all the way around. Like, not even because they lost. He just looked completely incompetent.
Yeah. What about the Giants here? Daniel Jones, 2-0. When do the wheels start getting wobbly here? Because he's off to a great start.
Well, hey, man, look, 2-2. They are playing better. They're not a good team.
No.
But they've won a couple games. They at least have some excitement. Saquon Barkley feels like he might be back sooner than expected. If he is, that's great. Good for him. I'd have to look at the schedule for who they have next week. I know after that they play New England on a Thursday night in Foxborough. That might be where the wheels not only are wobbly, but it's a full-blown car accident. But, hey, listen, if you're the Giants and you're Giants fans, you got some excitement, you got something going on, you got to feel good about where they're headed here with Daniel Jones.
Panthers and the Texans. Panthers 16, Texans 10, Bill O'Brien. Have we reached a tipping point with our favorite head coach?
Dude, I don't know how you go forward with this. And they're gonna. So we're going to find out how you go forward with it. But I don't know what is going on. It's so bad. I mean, dude, it is so bad.
It's not good.
How do you lose to Kyle Allen at home? And nothing against Kyle Allen, okay, who played a fine game. He was good enough. Kyle Allen is not Cam Newton. No. He's not 25 other quarterbacks in this league. How do you score 10 points, give up 6 sacks? You're completely inept every week. That's a division, like we've asked, who's the best team in that division? They should be by a mile, but they're not. Because if you took Frank Wright and Bill O'Brien and swapped teams, Houston would be 12-4. Indianapolis would be 5-11. That's all you need to know about the coaching in that division.
Well, speaking of Kyle Allen, should the Panthers stick with him even if Cam Newton comes back healthy?
No. He's been very good in relief. And I think he's giving you the luxury of not rushing Cam back. But if Cam's back, you got to give him in the game. I don't think you can say, well, we'll wait it out. We'll see how things shake. Okay. Cam Newton's a better quarterback. And I know they were 0-2 with him. But if he's healthy, which he wasn't early in the year, if he's healthy, you roll with Cam Newton.
The Cleveland Browns dropped the 40 burger today. 40-25 over the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Is this the new Cleveland Browns, Freddie Kitchens, Baker Mayfield? Is this what we're going to be expecting from them moving forward?
Cleveland fans sure hope so, right? I mean, 40 points, not bad. In Baltimore, look great. I think if you're the Browns, you got to hope, hey, maybe we figured something out here. I'd have to review the film. That being said, 40 points is 40 points on the road. Nick Chubb had a big day, had that big 88-yard touchdown run.
He did.
Baker didn't throw a bunch of picks, so that's a big step forward. I think the Browns have to feel really good. If they lose, they're 2 back in that division with a loss to Baltimore. Well, now they beat Baltimore, and they're 2-2. They're not leading the division.
Yeah.
As weird and as bad as it's been, They're leading the division. So I think you feel good all of a sudden if you're the Browns, and that's something that felt impossible even 48 hours ago.
Yeah, well, speaking of impossible, the Lamar Jackson hype train, the brakes got pumped last week. It feels like now they've been slammed on.
They're screeching.
Will he ever get back to what he was this first couple weeks of the season?
Maybe, but look, the Ravens and in general, and just applies to Jackson as well, just a weird first quarter of the year. Mm-hmm. You play the Dolphins and the Cardinals, who we now know are absolutely beyond words hideous. Mm-hmm. Okay, they beat those teams. Then they go to Kansas City. The score is kind of closer at the end than the game was. The Chiefs were up 30-13 with 10 minutes to go in the game. Then they go home and get absolutely plowed by Cleveland. So is Baltimore good? Do we know if Baltimore is any good? I think Lamar Jackson's better. Is he much better? Well, I don't know. He didn't look great against Kansas City. Mm. And he sure as heck didn't look good against Cleveland. So the jury's out. I think he'll have games where he's great. I think he'll have games where he throws for 140 yards.
Late slate of games. Let's move on. Perhaps one of the most exciting games of the week. The Buccaneers, 55, and the Rams, 40. Are the Buccaneers going to the playoffs? Because is this a turning point for them? 55 points against the Rams in L.A. Nobody saw that coming.
Well, look, if you're the Bucs, you're 2-2. You get a huge win. If not for Matt Gay missing a field goal last week, you're 3-1 and feeling really good, right? So that division is up for grabs. You're the Bucs fan. You think they're going to make the playoffs?
I desperately hope so, but I don't think that they're going to.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm optimistic that Winston is playing better under Arians, although that pick six almost cost you guys big time.
Well, that's the thing. They also had a similar game last year against the Saints in which they won on the road and ended up not making the playoffs. But the Rams did make the playoffs. In fact, they made the Super Bowl last year. But the Bucs defense figured them out today. Is this kind of a sign that the Rams are going to start getting figured out here? Because this isn't the first time a team has kind of almost got them.
Okay. The Rams have not been good offensively. Mm-hmm. And it's a very weird thing to say when a team scores 40 points in a game. Yeah. But the Rams, Goff threw the ball 60-plus times. It was terrible.
Fumble at the end of the game.
That offense is predicated on running the ball. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks about the light show when they're throwing the ball over the place. That offense is running the football. If they can't run the football, they are in major trouble. Mm-hmm. Goff throwing the ball 55-plus times is a recipe for disaster. He's not built to do that. And we saw why in this game. Look, I think the Rams, they're the best team, in my opinion, in the NFC West, even though right now they're second to San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But they need to get back on the winning way. And the winning way for them is running the ball, playing on schedule offensively. They look terrible at times in this game against the Bucs. Obviously, they lost by a couple scores.
Keeping it in the NFC West, the Seahawks and the Cardinals. It was really no contest. The Seahawks win 27-10. Are they sneakily a top-tier team in the NFC, Seattle?
I think they're a rung below the top-tier teams. Okay. I think Green Bay is better. I think New Orleans, when healthy, is better. I think Philly and Dallas are better. The Rams better. But I do think Seattle is a team that could make the playoffs, could cause some problems. But listen, Seattle's problem, in my opinion, is they have not been consistent. They barely beat the Steelers. Mm-hmm. They lost at home to Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints. So I think the Seahawks rather are a good team. I don't think they are a Super Bowl contender at this moment.
And if you're hearing the silence, it's because the air raid sirens are not going off because the Cardinals did not have a great day offensively. How long is Cliff Kingsbury's leash if this whole air raid thing doesn't start working out and turning into actual results?
I think he's got a couple of years there. But look, they can't block. Mm-hmm. Like, they just can't block, man. Murray's been sacked more than anybody else in the NFL. And if you're the Cardinals, like you have no chance if you can't keep your rookie number 1 overall pick quarterback upright. Yeah. And they can't do it. So against Seattle, a team that's got good front and gets some pressure, they're going to lose. And I think for the Cardinals, like, it's going to be a long year. It's going to be a long year. We all knew that coming in, and that's exactly what it looks like right now.
The Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Chicago wins. The Vikings didn't really show up for the game. The biggest story coming out of this is Mitchell Trubisky leaves with an injury in the first quarter of the game. Chase Daniel comes in, throws for under 200 yards, but doesn't make any mistakes, and the Bears win the game. How far can Chase Daniel take the Bears? Is he the answer that fans have been looking for?
I don't think he's the answer, but I don't think he's any worse than Trubisky is.
Okay.
I don't think – look, one thing that was telling to me in that game, Trubisky comes in, plays 3 plays as a starter, gets knocked out. They didn't change anything that they normally do, which tells me that they felt like, yeah, Daniels is good. Because if you have a starting quarterback, normally when they get hurt and you bring somebody in, the whole game plan changes. Mm-hmm. Didn't change for Chicago. Now, the flip side of that is, look, Minnesota. mean, good grief, man. Get a first down, do something. I know Chicago's got a great defense, but wow. Kirk Cousins, $84 million, not looking great.
Or are the Vikings ever going to find a quarterback?
Not in the next year and a half. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, at some point, he's got to make a play. You're paying him $84 million guaranteed. Do something. Mm-hmm. Make a throw. You got Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. Figure it out. I know that, look, I get the offensive line's not great. It's not all on Cousins. I understand that. But when you're the quarterback and you're getting paid $84 million, fully guaranteed, yeah, sorry, man. The onus is not on the left guard. Like, it's on you. You're going to have to figure it out, and they just cannot do it. I don't think Minnesota can compete in this division. Even though I think the roster might be the best roster in the division, they can't compete in it because they can't get anything out of the quarterback. So, and look, as good as their defense is, it's not Chicago's.
No.
So if Chicago and Minnesota are both getting the same thing out of their quarterbacks, Chicago's better, and Green Bay's certainly better.
Oh, yeah, easily. Last game of the day, or last game of the afternoon as we head into the Sunday night game. The Jaguars and the Broncos. It looked like the Broncos were going to win right up until the last second, and the Jaguars kick a game-winning field goal, 26-24. Gardner Minshew, the magic continues.
It's unbelievable.
When is the other shoe going to drop with him? Because it seems like he can do no wrong.
I think he's pretty good. I wrote a column about him last week on Stacking the Box. I think he's the real deal.
Okay.
I think he can play. Okay, he makes all the throws. You watch those games, he can zip it out to the boundary. He's got good technique in the pocket. He can get out and make plays. He's elusive. Look, is he going to be an all-pro? I don't know that. But could he be a legit starting quarterback on a good team? Yeah, he might be able to do that. He's a sixth-round rookie. And I got to tell you, he's outplaying guys like Kirk Cousins. I mean, if you're the Vikings right now, you're begging for Kirk Cousins to be Gardner Minshew, right? Like, and there's a lot of teams you can say that about. So I feel pretty good if I'm Jacksonville. I'm looking at this thing going, we're 2-2. We played at Denver. We played a Thursday night game. We played Kansas City. And we're sitting here at 2-2, and we played at Houston, almost won that game. So I think if you're the Jaguars, they got a case for the best team in the South. And if I'm Dave Caldwell, the GM, I'm like, that's nice. We're not trading Jalen Ramsey. Period.
There you go. Then we'll wrap it up with the Broncos. Just what? What are they doing?
They're losing. That's what they're doing.
What kind of hope do Broncos fans have from what we saw? I mean, look, twice in 2 weeks this has happened.
Dude, the offense moves the ball, but they just don't do enough. I mean, like, this whole game turned on Flacco. And I know people say, well, he played okay. You're up 17-3 driving late in the first half, and he throws just a horrific interception. Leads to a field goal. The whole game turns. Everything shifts. The defense can't do anything in the second half. Like, they're just not a good team. Sometimes the analysis is that simple. They're just not good. And they're staring at 0-4, and I'd be shocked if that team was more than 4 or 5 games. They're simply just not a very good football team.
Well, that's the Broncos for you. It's not good.
It is not good. They've lost 8 games in a row dating back to last year.
That's pitiful. So let's talk about some of the other stuff that we saw today, because let's circle back to the Chiefs game. Because I was watching you watch the game on the couch as I usually do.
Yes.
And this was the most tense I've ever seen you. Like, I really, really thought that the Lions were going to pull it off. But let's say that they did. Let's live in this alternate reality where the Lions win. Yep. Does that even matter to the Chiefs?
I don't think it does in the division. It does in home field advantage. You are battling New England to the hilt. Like, every game is a death match if you're Kansas City. You've got to win every game. You got to keep rolling with New England. You got to fight them. You got to think you're playing in week 14. So at that point, you'll play 12 games going into the game. I think Kansas City have any shot at beating them out. It's got to be 10-2 going into that game.
Okay.
So every win matters. Now, if you're the Chiefs, look, 4 or 5 is at home coming up. Okay, you got the Colts and the Texans, and you're on the road to Denver. Then Packers, Vikings. Yeah. So I think it would have been I think the result was big in that sense. I think it's a game that had they have lost is at the end of the world. No, but if you're the Chiefs, you're going, hey, we can win an ugly game too. Which a lot of times you don't see them ever have to play because they're winning by so many points, but they weren't today.
That's true. It seems like almost facetious at this point to say it, but I mean, we've said it a bunch of times. That's a game that they lose if Alex Smith is a quarterback. And you can kind of chart those across the history of the Chiefs for the last couple of years.
With this defense, if they had Alex Smith, they'd be 0-4. 1-3. They'd beat the Raiders. With this defense, and that's not I think Smith's an underrated quarterback, but my God, man, they would not win anything with Alex Smith with this defense.
Yeah, very true. I want to ask you some of the best things that you saw today in our absorption of Week 4 of the NFL. But Marcus Hernandez has a question in the chat for you. He says, "Sup, fellas? Do you think the Raiders will be Super Bowl champs within the next 3 years?" Marcus,
I think the Raiders have the potential to get better over the next 3 years. Yeah, look, I think the move to Vegas, once that's finalized and they're there, I think that helps. Like, there's not the distraction. There's not always this looming cloud. Gruden should only get better, you would think, as he's there, as he assimilates back into the NFL the way it is today, not the way it was when he was coach. My concern with the Raiders is I don't know about the quarterback. I think I don't think he's bad. I think he's average. And defensively, I love what I saw out of Jonathan Abram before he got hurt, but he's gone for the year. Okay. Defensively, there are some questions. So my answer is no. I just think the one thing that's going to be the stumbling block for the Raiders, and this is through no fault of their own, they are going to have to win 12, 13 games to get a home game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you've just got Mahomes just looming there. I don't know that anybody in that division is going to win that division if Mahomes is upright, unless they win 12 or 13 games, and that's just very, very hard to do. But I do think the Raiders have young talent. They could get better over the next few years.
All right, so Marcus, there because he called you out for being a Raider hater. So, and that was actually, I would say that's a pretty even-keeled answer and pretty honest too.
Like I never hide that I grew up rooting for Kansas City, so I'm fine saying that. Look, but I actually like Derek Carr. Like I find him to be a likable guy. I think he's, and he had a great year his second season. They went to the playoffs. Unfortunately, he broke his leg, got hurt. Actually, his third year. Excuse me. But I just think with the Raiders, there's just a long hill to climb. I think they're better than Denver right now, which is a step. Like, I'm not saying that facetiously.
Yeah.
Look, they finished in last place last year. I think they're better. The problem is right now, just you have a hill to climb. They're not anywhere near as good as Kansas City or Los Angeles right now. So give credit today, a great win in Indianapolis. But I do think, look, there's a long process to go before they're a Super Bowl team.
Yeah. Something that we do here at the FanSided office is we hand out the champ chain to people who do very good at their job or had a nice performance. If you're handing out the champ chain to somebody from week 4 in the NFL, from the games that we saw this afternoon, who's at the top of your list?
Oof, put me on the spot. If Jameis didn't throw that pick 6,
Jeez.
he'd have been up there.
Yeah.
I thought, look, there's a handful of people who you could put into the mix. I would give it collectively to Carolina.
Okay.
You know what? And I know it's kind of a cop-out answer. I don't mean
that's
it to be.
fair.
But
That's fair.
Carolina has gone on the road 2 weeks now. And look, the Cardinals, you say, okay, well, they're better than the Cardinals. They won fine. They went to Houston and won a game that nobody expected them to win. They held Houston at 10 points. So I think right now, if you're the Panthers, you're sitting there going, hey, we're 2-2. We've played a couple of road games that we've gotten wins in. Kyle Allen's not killing us. In fact, he's been a benefit for us. So, look, if you're the Panthers, that's a really good win on the road. I think you got to feel real good for Carolina.
I would give the champ chain to the Bills. Even though they didn't win the game, the fact that they were able to hold New England to 16 points, they made Tom Brady look atrocious today. Under 200 yards passing.
150.
If you played, Tom Brady in fantasy today, if the person you were playing
did.
started Brady, like Vernon did, you're a very happy camper right now.
I know who started Brady?
Who did?
You.
I did.
Yep.
I didn't know. I don't pay attention to that league.
I don't care. Still be.
But it doesn't matter. But the point is, the Bills, defensively, we've talked about this a couple different times on Stacking the Box.
Yes.
That defense is going to be the saving grace for them, even if Josh Allen can't fully become what everybody needs Josh Allen to be. Now that Josh Allen is out of the equation, we're assuming, we don't really know if he's going to miss multiple
He's in
weeks,
concussion protocol. We'll see how that goes.
But if it's the Matt Barkley show, I think that puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Do you think that the defense is going to be able to live up to the challenge and really compete for a spot in the AFC wildcard?
Yeah, I think absolutely they could be a wild card team. Who in the AFC is any good? Kansas City and New England are arguably, and frankly, I don't even think it's arguable. They're the two best teams in football right now. Beyond them, who's good in the AFC?
It was the Ravens, and then
everybody coming into the year was like, well, the Chargers. Well,
nope.
No.
Hard pass.
The Ravens, I think they're good. How good? I don't know. The Browns, are they good? Maybe. We don't know really yet. So the AFC South, is anybody any good? Maybe. So, yeah. The Bills are very good defensively. And the Bills can run the ball. I love Dawson Knox, their third-round rookie tight end. Could the Bills go 9-7, 10-6? Yeah. And if they do, so. They're going to make the playoffs in the AFC.
Big talker heading into the day was Jay Gruden. whether or not he would get fired. He didn't really put out a good case today that he shouldn't be fired,
No,
other
he did
than
not.
start putting in Dwayne Haskins. And all 3 of the first-round quarterbacks taken this past year are now starting quarterbacks. Even though Dwayne Haskins did not start the game, he became the starter midway through the first quarter. But all 3 of those guys are starting now.
And look, I've been one of these people banging the drum to get all of them in the game because I think you're not learning anything on the bench. That being said,
He looked bad.
he looked awful.
He looked rough.
And okay, I'm not a coach, so I feel, and I don't want to have double talk here, double speak. But I will say, these coaches see these guys in practice every day. They see them in the meeting rooms. Like, and these guys can never resist the temptation to just be like, "Hey, he's ready. Put him in." Every time. Dude, you never see one of these guys just get 8 weeks. Now, look, again, I've been the jerk who's screaming to put these guys in, put them in, put them in. So I'm not here to criticize. I'm just saying there's no patience left on the NFL. These guys, it's like, well, we got to play. Now, with Daniel Jones, he looked ready. He's been good. Kyler Murray, he's been good. He's been not so good, but he has no chance. Dwayne Haskins, it's a half of football, but yikes.
Was not good. Just a reminder to everybody, this is a commentary-only stream. We're not going to be actually showing the game, but we will be commenting on it, answering questions about Week 4, things that may be looking forward to in Week 5. Matt Verderam will be here, a revolving rogue gallery of fantastic experts will be coming in, from Patrick Schmidt to John Bueller. It'll be going in and out depending on where the quarters go. And this is actually where I bid you adieu, Verderam.
Okay, get out.
It's been real. I'm going to go celebrate the Bucs winning 55-40 over the Los Angeles Rams. And Patrick Schmidt is going to come in and have a little chat with you.
That's right. Let's do it. All right, bringing in Patrick Schmitty, who is a happy Bears fan.
Happy Bears fan today, yeah.
And also our college football and college sports editor in general, but obviously football, your main
Doing the
squeeze.
Chris Collinsworth slide in. Like
That's
it's,
right. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'm just going to run these down, tell you if anything sticks out. So the Week 5 odds are out. Rams at Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. Rams favored by a point on the road.
All right, we got another Thursday night match. That should be pretty good.
It's a good game. Jets at Eagles. Eagles laying 14 points.
Wow, that's a big spread.
I feel like it's deserved.
Yeah.
I'm just going to lay it out there. Jags at Panthers, the expansion bowl from way back when.
Oh, wow, yeah. Is Tom Capers and Tom Coughlin going to be coaching?
That's right.
Tom Coughlin will be there.
Panthers 3.5 point favorites in the game. Vikings at Giants. The Vikings are laying 4.5 points.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and say I don't like that line.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying the Giants deserve to be favored, but the Vikings, do they deserve to be favored?
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings really aren't that great. Neither is their opponent, but that's a game where you really don't want to watch on TV.
No, you don't.
You're just like, let me just check this box score later on.
Falcons at Texans. Texans favored by 5.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, when the Texans are good, they're good. When Matt Ryan and that Falcons offense is humming, they're pretty good. But so far, it's been a little bit of an inconsistent go.
I agree. Bucks at Saints. Obviously, Saints haven't played yet. Waiting on their game. But the Saints are favored by 5 points. I'm guessing that'll go up or down a little bit depending on what happens.
Yeah, I like that line for the Saints.
Yeah, 5 points.
Yeah, I'm liking that a lot.
Bills at Titans. Vegas said, we have no idea what to do. Titans by 2.
Yeah. Boy,
it's like, are the Titans good? Are they not good? Are the Bills good? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't really trust either one of those teams. You probably just roll with the home team just because.
I hope you're ready for Cardinals at Bengals.
Yeah, the watchability rankings are going to skip that one.
The Bengals 4.5 point favorites.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly.
When you're getting 4.5 against the Bengals, it's a tough season.
Yeah, Bengals might be the second worst team in the NFL if not for the Dolphins.
Right. Speaking of that, Pats at Redskins.
Boy.
The Redskins a home dog by 15.5 points.
Boy, Dwayne Haskins throwing him to the fire. He's going to get roasted alive. That'll be a tough one for him.
Yeah, wait for the Redskins, by the way, to not actually give them a week to prepare.
Right.
Just jam them in the second quarter and then go, New England's up next.
That's why Jay Gruden is not going to be in the Coach of the Year runnings.
Oh, man, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it really is.
That's pretty brutal.
So, all right, so then Ravens at Steelers, which normally is a great game, not so much this year. Ravens laying 3.5, road favorite. Now we get to your favorite team. Bears at Raiders, which is really in London.
Yeah.
Bears favored by 5.5.
Yeah, I like it. Khalil Mack is probably going to have 5.5 sacks in that game.
Dude,
so,
the under, the
yeah,
over
I like
under
that
is,
one a lot.
The under over is 41.5. I would take the under on that. There is no way.
Yeah, Raiders aren't going to get
The
to
Bears
10.
could score 30 points.
Yeah.
I would take the under.
Yeah, exactly.
So sign me up all day on the under there. Broncos at Chargers. Chargers 6.5-point favorites in the game. I'm surprised it's not more than that, quite honestly.
Yeah,
I know the
Broncos
Chargers have
not
been
looking
weird,
good
but
at all.
jeez.
You know, we thought the defense would be pretty good, with Chubb, Von Miller, Fangio coming in town, but that hasn't been the case. So, got to like the Chargers in that one.
Yeah, so now this is interesting. So, Packers at Cowboys, great game. Mm-hmm. The game, obviously, in Dallas. Cowboys, 4.5-point favorites. Not just a typical 3 for a home team. So
that makes
Vegas likes them better. Vegas says, no, that Dallas is better than Green Bay.
Yeah, I would say they are. We'll see how much that line fluctuates after what happens on Sunday night.
Right.
But yeah, Green Bay didn't exactly light it up. Especially defensively. The defense looks terrible on Thursday night. We know Rodgers is great, but that defense has kind of come back to earth a little bit.
No question. Sunday night football at Arrowhead. The Colts at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 10-point favorite in the game.
Man, can we flex that one out? I mean, I want to see Mahomes in primetime as much as possible, especially after they wasted a noon game today on him. But yeah, I mean, that would have been a lot better game if Andrew Luck was playing for Indy. But 10 points, that's probably about right.
I thought, man, going into today, I thought, well, hey, like the Colts are going to beat Oakland.
Yeah,
they'll be 3-1. Chiefs 4-0. Be a really interesting game. But then the Colts go out and just get bombed by Oakland in their own building.
Yeah.
Kind of takes some of the polish off that game. Mm-hmm. And the final game here, Browns at Niners. Niners favored by 3.5 on Monday Night Football.
Boy, Cleveland sure did look great today. They finally got tired of hearing how bad they were after all offseason. Everybody was talking about how good they were. But, 49ers coming off a bye. We'll see, how that extra week does for them. But, boy, really did like what I saw out of Cleveland today.
Yeah, 40 points in Baltimore. You don't see that too often for the opposing team. So, we are moments away from kickoff. We have the 2-1 Saints led by Teddy Bridgewater against the 3-0 Cowboys who have beaten the Giants, Redskins, and Dolphins. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the Cowboys. We're going to find out a lot more about Teddy Bridgewater. And please know we appreciate you for watching the stream, whether it is on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere else. We appreciate it. Also, feel free to comment, leave us questions. Schmitty and I are in here right now. We will answer any questions you may have. We'll do the best we can. And you see our Twitter handles right there. Go ahead, please give us a follow. But hey, listen, this should be an interesting game tonight. The Saints in the Dome, always tough to beat. And the Cowboys, well, the Cowboys might look the best they've looked since the heyday of Tony Romo, maybe even before that, depending on your opinion of them.
Yeah, it's a real good game. Cowboys are getting 2.5, or Cowboys are favored by 2.5. But I'm excited to see what Teddy Bridgewater does. Another game, we'll see how much Taysom Hill plays. But got to think this offense is going to roll through Alvin Kamara as it would even with a healthy Drew Brees. So excited to see what Kamara can do against this Hot Boys defense with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch and that front they have. So. Should be a great game for the running backs. I'm sure Ezekiel Elliott and Alvin Kamara. Fantasy owners are certainly expecting big games out of those guys. As an Amari Cooper owner myself, would be nice to get maybe 100 yards and a touchdown. And I'm sure Michael Thomas owners on the Saints are saying the same thing. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to get some, probably both teams in the high 20s at least. Over-unders at 47.5. I'd probably be taking the over for some last-minute betting advice. Yeah. Should be a really good game. Maybe a candidate for the game of the week, which is what you'd want out of these Sunday night affairs.
That's it. You want a good game. Last week we had a close game, but a game that wasn't exactly enthralling. Browns-Rams. Nobody can move the ball.
Yeah.
So hopefully that changes tonight. We'll see. I wish Brees was playing. Nothing against Bridgewater. But I love watching Drew Brees. He's got that great offense. But they are going to the Dome, and we should be ready to go here in a second. Look, just as a reminder, we're not streaming the game live in the sense you can't watch the game, okay? This is just a commentary stream, sitting here answering questions, talking NFL, and answering anything about anything that went on this week. But also, of course, we'll keep you updated on this game as it's going on. You just won't be able to actually watch the game. That's what's called illegal. and major fine from the FCC.
Yeah, we're not looking to break too many laws tonight, especially not those. The laws we will break, we will not be broadcasting to the world. Those we'll try and keep under wraps as best as possible, but should be a good game. Some great quarterbacks. Hey, Dak Prescott, boy, one of the better stories so far the first month of the season. He's certainly going to get a big payday in an era when quarterbacks are getting $30 million as a floor. It seems like with every week he's adding another few million to that payroll.
Just wrote about this for my column that goes up tomorrow on FanSided, the Stacking the Box one. And I said, look, they should have paid him this offseason.
Yeah.
Because when Wentz got 32 and Wilson got 35, it's like, okay, well, he's going to slot in right in there. Yeah. And Wentz has been mediocre. Goff, who got paid, has been awful.
Yeah.
So if you're Dak, you're going, I got to get paid more than Goff. You kidding me?
Yeah.
You seen Goff? If Dak plays well and he waits out the year, he's going to get tagged. He's going to wait for Mahomes to sign, and he's going to say, he got $40 million? Okay, I'm not Mahomes. I'll take 38.
Yeah.
Tough.
And even if he has to settle for 36 or something like that, I mean, 38, it sounds like a lot, but yeah, Mahomes is going to reset the market. He's certainly not in his class. But, I mean, shoot, every week it's, one great performance after another.
Played well.
And, I mean, just, great football character, nothing to worry about off the field where you got to worry about giving this guy a 6-year deal for $150+ million or whatever it would be. So he's going to get paid. His agent, I'm sure he's got to be licking his chops knowing that a big payday is in his near future. Yeah, absolutely.
Feeling good. So the game is underway. There's a touchback. Saints kicked off. And the Cowboys coming out here and off and running. Completion on the sideline to Cooper for about 6. And so that's how the game begins in the Big Easy. But to your point, look, Prescott, to show the numbers right now on NBC, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, 920 yards, completing 74.5% of his throws.
Yeah, and lead the league in completion percentage and quarterback rating. Would not have guessed that. 3 games into the season, we'll see what he could do. Amari Cooper on Marshawn Lattimore, one of the big matchups to look forward to, already going to him on the first play.
Yeah, not afraid to challenge him. They pick up a first down and a little run by Zeke, picked up about 5 or so. So Cowboys with the ball first in their blue uniforms. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is
some
pretty looking uniforms. I love the Saints uniforms too, but liking this Cowboys offensive line. We know it's one of the best. They get Frederick back earlier this year after he missed last season, and I mean, obviously you're getting Zeke back from his holdout. This offense, it really has everything you need at all levels. And Jason Witten actually starting him in fantasy this week.
Wow.
Would not have anticipated that with him coming out of retirement this year.
Out of the booth and onto the field. And speaking of Jason
Witten,
there he
is.
Yeah.
Wow.
The easiest 10-yard catch you'll ever see. He just sat down in the soft spot of the zone.
I mean, he's made a career out of that. 10, 12, 14 years later, he finds the soft spots in the defense. He knows how to get open. It probably runs a 6'4", 40 right now. In short distances in that 6 to 12-yard radius, certainly one of the best tight ends that we've seen over the last 10, 15 years.
Well, Dallas approaching midfield already as they try to get on the board first here in the Sunday Night Football affair. And Zeke have stacked up there at the line, maybe get a yard. But the Saints make their first good defensive play of the game.
Yeah, again, some traffic in the backfield there. Don't know if they brought some extra pressure or not, but New Orleans is going to have to do that. They're going to have to try and slow down Zeke as much as possible. As we see the Saints defensive starters, Demario Davis was the guy in on that play on the last play.
Well, the Big Easy's gotten to see a lot of good football recently. Look, the Saints are good. Certainly a contender, especially when Breeze was there and he's upright. And as I said, when you came in, you're the college football guy. Well, LSU
they
have a quarterback.
Year. Yeah, finally LSU has a quarterback.
They never have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Now they have a quarterback in Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they're kind of like the the Bears, where they have a great defense, maybe a good run game year in and year out, but for whatever reason they can't find a quarterback. But this year, Joe Burrow, and they get Joe Brady from the Saints, so it's a perfect tie-in. And yeah, Joe Burrow putting up significantly large numbers here in the Heisman chase with Tua and Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. So I'm already looking forward to that Alabama-LSU game in early November, I think November 9th. But between the Saints and the Tigers, fans got a lot to root for this year.
Listen, man, I enjoy college football, but I don't have a team. I'm not necessarily invested. That Alabama-LSU game every year That's a game I don't miss.
Yeah.
Watch it starts, finish, all the pregame, all of it. By the way, the Saints forced a stop. So Prescott, on 2nd and 10, he threw the ball away. He was on the pressure cam. Jordan got in there. 3rd down and 10, he hit Zeke underneath on a little crosser, but not to be, only 4 yards. So the Cowboys will punt the ball away to Deontay Harris, a rookie who had a touchdown last week.
Yeah, it's something few and far between now. It seems we don't see as many kick returns and punt returns since Devin Hester has retired and left the league, and some of the rules certainly changing on kick returns. But yeah, still one of the more exciting plays you'll see in football. But Dallas pins them deep. We'll see what Teddy Bridgewater and company can do starting inside their own 10 or 15 there.
We had a comment asking us to slide over a little bit so you could see the reflection of the game in the window.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's a little bit of a loophole in our
that's right.
The streaming FCC regulations that we have to abide by. But, we can only do so much.
It's a good comment, though. I like it. Way to be a man or a woman of detail. It's good. So, while we're on a commercial here, listen, I wanted to bring up, I know we're covering the NFL right now, but college football, 5 of the top 9 teams, SEC teams.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. That conference has been the best conference 15 years running, and it just seems to get stronger.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's what it is. It's, that's pretty much what it is week in and week out.
Unreal, man.
Alabama moving up to the number 1 spot. Clemson had a close call. Didn't have a lead against North Carolina until the 4th quarter, and they held on with a 1-point win. Stopped North Carolina in a really bad 2-point conversion try. Loved the call to go for it. Didn't exactly love the execution, the play called. But, yeah, Alabama moves up to number 1. We got LSU and Georgia at 3 and 4 that we were just talking about. And Auburn's playing really well. And Florida also undefeated at number 9. And we got Auburn at Florida this weekend. So number 7 versus number 9. And, I'll be writing about that all this week. We'll do a little video about that tomorrow. It's definitely the game of the week in college football. But, SEC, 5 in the top 9. Did our projected playoff rankings over the weekend after what happened on Saturday. And you could certainly make a case for 3 teams right now between Alabama, LSU, and Georgia to get in there. We know they won't get 3, but they could certainly get 2 depending on what happens with, if Oklahoma has a loss or 2. The Pac-12 is already out. Clemson will get in. I know they struggled, but they're going to get in. Ohio State they look phenomenal, top to bottom.
Pretty good.
Offense, defense, special teams. Justin Fields looks great. Chase Young is a beast. If Tua goes number 1 to the quarterback needy team that takes him at 1, Chase Young might go number 2.
Great edge rusher.
And Justin Fields, all this talk about Trevor Lawrence being the number 1 pick in 2021, Justin Fields has put himself in that conversation. So it's never too early to start looking ahead if you need a quarterback of the future, which, hey, the Saints might need a quarterback of the future after next year.
Yep.
It feels like Teddy Bridgewater's been in the NFL for a decade, but still just 26 years old, and he's been with the team for a couple years. So Sean Payton might want to keep him in New Orleans for a few more years as the successor to Drew. But conversation for another night as Bridgewater drops back, and there they go.
Yep, so the Saints, they ran their first offensive play, gain of 6, and a little dump off to DeMarco Murray.
Latavius Murray.
Oh, I'm sorry, of course. The Cowboys being in the game, they're thrown off.
The former
This
NFL
guy says
he's
got 180 shells on the Cowboys.
Wow. Okay.
Good for you. You got it straight up or on the spread? Because that's what I need to know.
Yeah, big whiskey throwing down some big
whiskey,
dimes
big
on
cheddar.
that game. Yeah,
Good for
with a
you.
name like Big Whiskey, I wouldn't expect anything less than.
You can't be Big Whiskey and throw down $10.
Yeah, right.
Right. Like then you're like a taste of whiskey. Well, we'll see how it shakes for you.
Yeah, we're rooting for you. We don't want anyone to lose money. We have no rooting interest. We want everyone to have a good time.
I don't bet because I don't have the emotional stability. I'd be terrified the entire day.
Yeah, I had one of my best friends text me yesterday morning about some college football betting tips. He's like, "Where are you putting your money?" I'm like, "Man, I just give the advice." I'm like, I don't have the stomach to actually put the rent money or the mortgage money on the line, but. Just like with fantasy football, it gives a different way to root for games, a different way to watch games.
For sure.
And certainly, if you got 180 on the line for the Cowboys tonight, it's certainly going to make things a little bit more intense as you question every penalty and every play call and every measurement and line spot. So, we wish all our gamblers good luck.
So, penalty on the Saints here. I'll bring up a 3rd and long. Want to get in quickly. please subscribe to Stacking the Box. It is our podcast here at FanSided with myself, Josh Hill, although it is Josh Jill up in the corner. At this point, it's a purposeful typo. We just like to make fun of Hill. And Jeff Schwartz, former offensive lineman, 8 years in the NFL, Panthers, Chiefs, Vikings, Giants. So we do it every week, every Tuesday. It's an hour long. This week, we'll have Nate Burleson on as a guest from Good Morning Football. He'll be on to talk all things NFL. So listen, please go to iTunes, Google Play. Go to iTunes, subscribe. By the way, an unbelievable catch by Michael
big game
Thomas.
there.
Little back shoulder, first down. But please go to Stacking the Box on iTunes and subscribe. Leave a comment, leave a rating. Would really, really appreciate it. You can follow Stacking the Box at Stacking the Box on Twitter. So, just a little plug there.
Got to do it. Hey, man, I'm excited to hear what Nate Burleson has to say. One of my favorite NFL media guys. Yeah, Good Morning Football. Boy, what a fantastic, fun show. All the guys on that show. Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, Kay Adams, Will Selva. I love all those guys. Even the weekend edition of Good Morning Football is fantastic, too. And, yeah, really excited to hear what Nate has to say on pretty much the first month of the NFL. What his biggest surprises are and biggest disappointments. Who his maybe first quarter MVP would be, Coach of the Year, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And I'm just giving you more material for the podcast. Just maybe get a producer credit this week.
I'll have to do it. I'll have to get it done for you. Listen, he's a very interesting guy, Nate, and it'll be fun to have him on. Here's the sure he's watching the Saints and the Cowboys, as we are, of course, as we come up on the first drive for the Saints offensively, and they're looking at second and long from their own 37-yard line, second and 8. There's 10 minutes to go in the quarter. And Bridgewater showing some mobility, and it's so nice to see after the broken leg. He's on the move, and there's a flag down. Didn't see where it came in.
Yeah, this one.
Don't know if it's in the secondary. Don't know if it's holding on the Saints. Didn't see where the flag was thrown. But it is a hold, and it is on the Saints. So
when in doubt, I mean, the way the flags have been falling so far this year, when in doubt, got to think it's holding and coming back on the offense.
Teron Armstead, the left tackle, he is not in agreement with this call. The guys very seldomly are. Let's see if we get a good call.
Yep.
He can disagree all he wants. He basically tackled Armstrong there.
Yeah, can't clothesline the guy like that. He got beat right off the snap, just out of position.
Yep. So, no question.
So that'll push them back. They cross midfield, but that'll push them back considerably here.
I got to say, though, so nice to see Teddy Bridgewater running like that after what happened, the injury, everything else. He looked great. He had some speed. Got around the edge.
No hesitancy at all.
Nope. So he just threw a bullet over the middle. Nice catch by Thomas for the short game.
Might get back to the original line of scrimmage there. Set up maybe a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 here as they try and pick up their first down of the game.
I got to say, obviously, of course, we have the whole game in front of us and it's 0-0. But, man, if the Saints can find a way to win this game, you win 2 games with Bridgewater and not Breeze, and it's the Seahawks and the Cowboys. One hell of an accomplishment. Again, of course, a long way to go, but that would be an amazing job by the Saints and by Bridgewater.
Yeah, if you figure, I can't remember what the initial timetable was on Breeze.
6 weeks.
I was going to say 6 weeks. If they could go 4-2 in those 6 games, I think the Saints and most Saints fans would kind of take that. And if you get a win over the Cowboys, that's
Bridgewater
not going to help there.
in and out of the hands of a receiver and picked off.
So we got a early turnover here for the Cowboys. If you were streaming some fantasy defenses and riding the Cowboys against a breeze-less Saints, that's a couple of quick points for you earlier.
Ted Ginn's got to make that catch.
Yeah.
That ball's right in his hands. It was a nice throw on the run by Bridgewater. I'm sure Big Whiskey is celebrating.
Yeah, Big Whiskey likes that one a lot.
Big Whiskey's feeling good.
Boy, Ted Ginn has been in the league forever and dating back to his time at Ohio State. We know this guy can run a 4.1 40, a 10-second hundo, but always had questions about his hands, and he showed it there on a play that should have been a first down for the Saints. Turns into an easy interception, a turnover for the Cowboys, and Cowboys are going to have great field position to start this drive.
Whenever I think about Ted Ginn, I think about draft day.
Cam Cameron?
And he got drafted by the Dolphins.
Yep.
And everybody and their mother said, why do you not draft Brady Quinn there?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was among them. I was a kid in high school, but I remember being like, what are they doing? Well, the right move. Not saying he was the right pick overall, but between those two, he had the better career by a significant margin.
Yeah, I mean, that career, his best moments weren't with the Dolphins, but shoot, it's 2019 and Ted Ginn is still in the league, and Brady Quinn
has not been for a while.
He's on Fox, on the college football pregame show with
man's not been
Reggie
on for
Bush
a while.
and Matt Leinart and Urban Meyer. Yeah, he's been gone for a long time. We were actually talking about Brady Quinn last Saturday. We were doing a college football stream for the Notre Dame Georgia game, and one of the stats I uncovered in my copious amounts of research for that game was Notre Dame was like 1-18 against top 5 teams over the last like 15 years, something like that. The lone win against a top 5 team was Brady Quinn's Notre Dame team beating a number 3 Michigan team like 15 years ago. So more Brady Quinn references. We got to get Brady Quinn on the show on Stacking the Box. Tell him how much we love him. We're big fans here at FanSided.
I'm all for it, man. Bring Brady in. Bring him in. Listen, Brady Quinn was a guy, he fooled me, man. Coming out of college, I thought it's going to be big time.
I mean, he looked the part, big, strong.
See, you
great
bring
program,
up, you bring up
well-coached.
the right point, though, right? Like, Brady Quinn comes out of Notre Dame, which is a darling program, and he just looks like a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got those movie star looks, right?
Yeah.
Like, all that guy. If Brady Quinn doesn't look like that and plays at, like, UTEP, is Brady Quinn a first-round pick, right? Like that.
Yeah.
It goes back to that whole thing, famously in Moneyball.
Yeah.
Like, well, how's your looking jeans?
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
I mean, Notre Dame, Michigan, those legacy schools, they're always overrated, whether it be in the AP top 25 when it comes to the draft, but it's almost kind of like an annual tradition at this point with Notre Dame and Michigan being overrated. And certainly been the case this year for Michigan and Notre Dame. They got a loss at Georgia, but they're number 10. I wouldn't necessarily say they're overrated, but we got action back. Cowboys taking over, 2nd and 4 across midfield here.
Got a text message. Brady Quinn and Colt McCoy separated at birth. That is my father weighing in.
Okay.
Hey,
a couple of great college superstars there. Colt McCoy actually led his team to a college football championship game, but Marcel Darius knocked him out like 5 plays in. And
I remember that.
Alabama.
Who came in? Do you remember who was the backup quarterback?
Oh, gosh. Garrett Gilbert, I want to say.
Wow, I think it was Garrett Gilbert. That's great. That's a good job by you. I didn't mean to
That's
put you in
why
the
I'm the senior editor at FanSided.
I didn't mean to put you in the spot like that. After I asked him, like, crap.
I feel good about that. We might need to go to our research department to fact check that.
That was at the Rose Bowl, was it not? I just remember that game. I remember watching it.
Fiesta, maybe Rose Fiesta. I don't know. I just
remember watching that game and him getting knocked out and just thinking like, it's over.
Yeah,
immediately.
It was curtains from there.
The third and 2 here for Prescott. He drops back. He's got all kinds of time. He's going to run for it. Oh, and he's got it. And
I'll just go down, Dak.
He was about 5 yards over the line of scrimmage. And pump faked it. He is feeling good flag, though.
Yeah, they're going to get an extra 15 on that.
You think it was a late hit?
Yeah, I mean, he touched the guy after he gave himself up, and that's a quarterback, so when in doubt.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
late hit. Von Bell, I believe.
Yep. A 5, 6, 7 yard run there for Dak. Yeah, 7 yard run.
22
Tack on
now.
15. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just can't do that against a quarterback. It's going to get called 100% of the time.
Maybe this ref is in the bag for big whiskey.
You never know. Yeah. With gambling being legal and more
pulled.
legal across the country.
And he hit him in the head.
A little forearm shiver.
That's why. I mean, what are you doing?
Undisciplined there. Greg Williams running the defense now.
Greg Williams was involved to get in New Orleans.
No room to run there for Zeke. Trying to go off tackle to the right side. A swarm of Saints.
Kellen Moore showing him on the sideline.
Kellen Moore and
Boise
Colt McCoy
State
separated at birth. Huh?
Yeah.
How about that comp?
31 years old, as NBC showing right now. Youngest coordinator in the league since Sean McVay when he was with the Redskins.
That Sean McVay guy turned out okay.
He's okay, and I'm thinking Kellen Moore is going to be getting a job sooner or later if this team keeps playing the way it is.
Yeah, shoot, maybe he's the head man in Dallas. It feels like we've put Jason Garrett on the hot seat ever since he was hired, and I don't know how many years now it's been, but
they're waiting for Sean Payton. Wow, Dak just got crushed and completed the pass.
Jason Witten again.
Great throw by Prescott. Man, the Saints brought a stunt. Wow, did he get lit up. But made the throw, and he's apparently fine. Cam Jordan, and that's 2-point stance, edge rush. He went inside.
Unblocked.
Man, did he just cream Dak. But a great throw.
Yeah, Cam Jordan, it feels like one of the more underrated edge players in the NFL.
No
just
question.
A perennial 10, 12 sack guy. And, I mean, he's making Pro Bowls and this and that, but It just feels like in the national conversation, it's, Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald, not an edge player, but Von Miller, J.J. Watt, all those guys.
You're always hearing about this.
Yeah.
You hear about Clowney more than you hear about Jordan. I would argue Cam Jordan's a better player.
Yeah, all day.
Right?
All day.
Right? No question.
Yeah.
So, but you don't hear about him because it's almost like, well, and the Saints, like other teams, you think of the Packers, you think offense, even though the defense is
exactly.
better.
Yeah, you're talking Breeze, you're talking Kamara, Michael
You're not
Thomas,
talking about
Ingram up
Cam
until
Jordan.
this year. Yeah, that's a very fair point.
I mean, look, everybody knows who's ever followed me. I'm a Chiefs fan, and I feel like nobody talks about Chris Jones.
Yeah.
Chris Jones, outside Aaron Donald, is the most dominant. I mean,
He's a
right
monster.
there, Akeem Hicks, guys like that. And you never hear, well, why? Because whenever the Chiefs come up, you're talking about Patrick Mahomes and all that.
Tyreek Hill,
Right, you're not. It's like, oh, yeah, and Chris Jones had 16 sacks. He's good.
Yeah, he's a monster. I've loved him all throughout his college career. Remember covering him as a recruit.
Miss State.
Yeah, Robert Kimdichie was the number 1 recruit in the country. Chris Jones was the number 2. And they both go to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Chris Jones outplayed him every year in college. And we obviously know what happened in the NFL.
Yeah, he's been a little
playing
better
like an All-Pro. So the Cowboys face a big 3rd and 9. They can get a first down at the 1, but they got to be throwing into the end zone here.
That's
nobody
all
open.
Day. Oh, this is incredible. All day directing traffic. And he had him
off the tips.
He had Randall Cobb. He had him open in the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
Dak's going to be kicking himself there. That's got to be 6. He had him wide open, and he hit him off the fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, good job to scramble, try and, manipulate the pocket a little bit, give his receivers time to get open. Has Cobb coming to the boundary
had him.
Just, an inch or 2 off. Yeah, that's got to be 7. In a game where we figure this is going to go down to the wire, a 1-possession game, you got to take advantage of these opportunities here.
A tough miss,
especially after a turnover. You want to get 7, but still, they'll get a nice chip shot, 28-yard field goal here.
Knocked it through.
And 3-0 with 5:09 to go in the first.
So, just a quick PSA. We already talked about stacking the box, and I'll mention it again real quick. If you didn't hear it, if you weren't here, you weren't paying attention, you were going to the bathroom. Stacking the Box, podcast with myself, Josh Hill, although in the graphics it's Josh Gill because at this point we're just trolling him. It was a typo that went right. And Jeff Schwartz, former offensive lineman, 8 years in the NFL. Podcast every single Tuesday. Go get the swag shop, FanSided at swag.fansided.com. You can get your swag. If you don't know what it looks like, boom, now you do. So, subscribe on iTunes. Check that out every Tuesday, an hour long. We touch on everything. And this week, Nick Burleson of Good Morning Football will be the podcast guest. Also, On the Mark with Mark Carman, a really good podcast. He talked to David Ross, former Cubs catcher, about what might happen with Joe Madden. And, of course, now we know Joe Madden is out. We don't know who's in. David Ross said, hey, look, I think Joe Madden should keep his job. But if he doesn't keep his job, he didn't really close the door on his own candidacy. So we'll see if David Ross becomes a candidate. But he did talk to Mark Carman. And, again, you can follow On the Mark with Mark Carman at iTunes. Give it a subscription.
Yeah, on that topic, now that it's official, I mean, it was pretty much fait accompli for the last month or so, maybe even a little bit longer. Maybe even beginning the season when they didn't give him an extension. He was kind of a dead man walking unless they won the World Series or something like that. But sometimes, a change is good for both parties, and that's kind of what Madden said, what the Cubs brass said earlier today. And, if they do make a move, you move on from a guy that, was the winningest manager over the last 4 or 5 years in baseball. You won a World Series. You better have a great replacement in mind. And if it is going to be David Ross, I think that's a nice outside-the-box hire to get a guy that's been a great leader, a great clubhouse presence throughout his career. But, we'll see what happens. But
would you rather have him or Joe Girardi?
Yeah, I'd rather have David Ross. I think it's a better clubhouse, better cultural fit.
Okay.
Joe Girardi, I just think I just don't think. I think there would be some clashing between him and the front office, and a little too similar with Madden as far as how they like to go about their own business. But
okay.
Hey, Sheryl Crow once said sometimes a change will do you good, and we'll see what happens with the 2020 Cubs. But still the 2019 NFL season, and shaping up to be a pretty good game tonight with the Cowboys up 3-0 on the Saints. Still waiting for the Saints to kind of get things going here after that turnover on their first drive.
Absolutely. Only 3-0 though. Dak missed that open touchdown throw to Cobb, and this kickoff will No, they're going to run out. Those are going to be a touchback. It's about halfway deep into the end zone.
Let's see if they get to the 25.
He stayed up.
Second effort there.
He was almost down to 17, and he was able to get to the 26. Good on. Good on. Who was that there? I couldn't see the number, but
the analytics guys are not going to like that, taking that out of the end zone. But
down go the analytics guys.
They got the +1 on that one.
The extra yard. That's right. By the way, speaking of baseball, we should really stream the A's-Rays wildcard game. I could just sit here in my glass case of emotion.
Scintillating right there.
I'm going to live in pure terror.
The Rays going to go with an opener for that game?
Morton.
Okay.
It's Morton.
He's been an ace this year.
Yeah, he's pretty good. So it'll be in Oakland in the Coliseum. Good times. Anyway, football is at hand. Just wanted to touch on that quickly, as that will be my Wednesday night with me locked in my office just screaming at the television.
Second TV, though, we'll have the challenge on because you got to keep up with that.
Oh, I didn't think about that. My God, that's right. I'm going to have to TiVo that or DVR it or whatever.
But, baseball playoffs, NFL.
There's a lot going on. Hockey's coming back next week.
It feels like basketball's right around the corner. It's like, gosh, it still feels like
there's no such thing as basketball.
Yeah, right. And I'm a Bulls fan. If we win 34, it's like
our two teams combined wouldn't make the playoffs.
Right?
A bunch of trash. All right, second down and 8 for Bridgewater. Oh, he's under a lot of pressure.
Oof.
Oh, he almost got out of it. He ends up getting back about the line of scrimmage. There's a flag, though. Again, didn't see where it came in. Don't know if it's a defensive holding or if it's in the backfield.
Yeah, this one's going to be coming back. I think this one's on the offense. I think either
there's a lot of chaos. A personal foul. It's a
face
mask on Dallas.
Dallas face mask.
Turns out they're not in the pocket of Big Whiskey.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Who knows?
Big Whiskey. Ooh.
I don't know. Let's see if it's a good call or you're getting jobbed. Let's see. He's on. Oh, it looks like Chidobe Awuzie.
Okay.
That's tough. He wasn't even involved in the play. Obviously, they'll face him. Oh, he's got him.
Yeah,
he's got him big time.
Yeah. That's
got to call
if
that.
You're the defense corner. You're the coaches. You hate that. You're not involved in the play.
It has nothing to do with it.
You're 20 yards from the ball.
But he had no question.
15 yards.
No question. He had him by the mask for a while, so it's a good call.
He'll be fine in kangaroo court for that one. That's brutal.
That's tough. And so at their own 43, the Saints moving out toward midfield, and Kamara's going to hit midfield and then some, an easy first down to the Cowboys 43.
Yeah, finally some room there for Kamara to take advantage of it. Picks up 13. I mean, he's got to get 25 touches today, no matter what. Through the run game, through the receiving. He's one of the better playmakers.
It's the battle of the nose rings with him and Elliott.
Yeah, it's a unique look.
It's
not one I don't think either of us could pull off.
No, but if I got a nose ring, my wife would lock me out of the house. But for Kamara and Elliott, it looks good. It's working.
Yeah, and when you're a multimillionaire, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
You're suddenly fashionable.
Going to criticize you.
You're fashionable no matter what at that
Taysom
point.
Hill in at quarterback.
Oh, he's going to keep it on the option.
And he's going to pick up about 20 yards.
Struck the corner on Dallas. Wow.
Yeah.
Drew Brees
ain't
doing
that. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater ain't doing that. That's what Taysom Hill brings to this offense.
Yep.
And I love he's an easy guy to root for. We talk about Bridgewater coming back from his awful injury a few years ago with the Vikings. Yeah. Taysom Hill, one of the better college quarterbacks at BYU.
Yeah.
I was joking about it on Twitter a few weeks ago. It's because it seems like Taysom Hill always has these big touchdowns or big plays on Sunday night or Monday Night Football. And gosh, he would be in our Heisman watch list in September and early October. And now then he just suffer one season-ending injury after another. And you're just like, man, if this guy could just stay healthy.
Yep.
But
he's an athlete. And
credit to Sean Payton for getting him on the field and finding ways to get the ball in his hands.
And I'll tell you what, boy. He hit Xavier Woods. He folded him like a deck chair.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fullback running. That's 230 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big boy. And he knocked him flat on his behind. So they will, I'm sure, get Hill involved in this game more and more as they always do. Mm-hmm. You'll see more packages for him. And he can throw the ball a little, too, as you mentioned. He was a good quarterback at BYU. Yeah. So he's not just the guy who's going to run.
Yeah, I would say when he's in there, he's going to be running.
You expect to run.
But still, the threat, the element of the pass, you don't want to just take things.
Sometimes you see these guys, it's like a running back in the Wildcat. You're like, all right, they're running the ball. Well, with Hill, he actually could throw, and now a reverse. And
the Saints are cooking here.
The Saints are moving and shaking. Harris, who, by the way, was the kick returner.
Yep.
I could not see the number up earlier. Look, all of a sudden, Jason Garrett, little beads of sweat.
A little sweaty there.
A little nervous.
Might need to crank the AC
they
up in the Superdome.
They are creasing what is a very good front seven. This is a front seven with the Marcus Lawrence, Leighton Van Der Esch, Smith, and That's an athletic, strong, good front seven. And, boy, the Saints are making it look easy on this drive.
Yeah, pulling guys. We saw the tight end Josh Hill, Ron Armstead, one of the better left tackles, and one of the more athletic and agile left tackles. He can get out in space. He can pull and trap with the best of them. So really like what we're seeing this drive from the Saints is they're about at the 11-yard line here, facing a second down.
Minute and a half to go here in the first quarter. And as you can see on the screen, it is the Cowboys 3, the Saints nothing, but the Saints knocking on the door. And I mentioned the front seven earlier for Dallas. Well, Sean Lee, frankly, you forget.
The ageless Sean Lee, right? How long has this guy been in the league?
Playing forever. And here he is, making the tackle on Hill. Look, a minute to go as we come up under a minute now. In the Superdome, 3-0 Cowboys in the first quarter as the Saints trying to punch it in. And another handoff, and this one met with moderate success, maybe gained 3. And a flag on the field, and that is in the area of holding. Although the Cowboys were viciously protesting, so we'll see. Maybe it is holding, maybe it's not. The Cowboys came up yelling and screaming. Legal hands to the face. It's on the Saints, though. So at the end of the
Michael
day,
Thomas.
Yeah, so Michael Thomas with the key penalty.
Illegal block above the waist, it's being called.
Okay. Good job by you. Without sound, I'm a lost man. I just go by the hand signals. I would just call that holding.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't know why we had to call it illegal. I mean, it looked like he just grabbed him and turned him. Now we'll see Bridgewater in a spot here. I mean, 2nd and 17 and get a first down at the 4-yard line, but this is a long way to go. And Bridgewater's going to hitch up in the pocket.
Sensing the pressure.
And he's going to get sacked for a big loss.
Yeah, when you hold the guy and he still gets the hit on your quarterback,
it's not good.
You didn't hold well enough.
No.
You're already losing the 10 yards.
If you're going to hold.
Yeah.
Well, not the case. Now it's 3rd and a million. I'm sure I'll just decline this. There's no reason to take it.
Yeah, so we'll set up. They're going to replay the down. So 2nd and 20. Well, push it back a little bit more for a potential field goal try. So I do like that.
Jeez. So it was called on Larry Walford, the guard there, and I think they screwed that up. I think he took the penalty, or they declined the penalty. I think it's 3rd and a mile. I don't know what was going on here. They had Armstead go inside, Walford go outside. I don't know if that was designed. If it was, I don't know why it would be designed that way.
Okay, yeah. So this is going to be 3rd and 24 from the Dallas 29, it looks like.
And they don't have to snap the ball. So we'll see if they go to the end of the first quarter.
This will be a 46-yard field goal if they don't gain any yards.
Will Lutz, his job is becoming trickier by the second here.
Yeah,
they will get a playoff in the first quarter rather. And it's just a little dump off to Jared Cook. And he'll pick up a few, and he'll stumble out of bounds. And it's the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Dallas leading the Saints. This is my moment to depart. John Bueller coming in, and stick around here as we make the transition. Mr. Bueller, welcome into the show.
Ahead of Will Lutz, attempting what would be a 40-yard field goal here. Alrighty, so Cowboys up 3-0. Saints will be attempting a game time 40-yard field goal here as both offenses are kind of trying to feel each other out so far in the first quarter. But a couple of big run plays by the Saints on that drive. Got to be excited by what you're seeing from the Saints offensive line, getting some big lanes and alleys open for their guys.
Yeah, if you can open up some lanes for Alvin Kamara to just sprint through, it's going to really open up, the offense, really take some pressure off of Teddy Bridgewater. It does seem to me like in the early part of the game, they're just trying to fill each other out. These are seen as probably two of the better teams in the NFC at this point. Mm-hmm. Dallas has gotten off to a 3-0 start, and even with the Saints losing Drew Brees, they win today. They'll be in first place again in the NFC South.
Yeah, and this is, could be a potential NFC playoff game, maybe potential NFC championship game. Both these teams should be really good. We'll see how the Saints can cope without Drew Brees. We were talking about it in the first quarter. Maybe misses 6 games. I said if the Saints could go 4-2, I think, the Saints and most Saints fans would, be pretty happy with that. What do you think about that?
Oh, no doubt. Just to win in Seattle last week, like everybody just assumed that was going to be a loss. And then, to have an opportunity, you're getting points at home versus Dallas. If you were just happy to win one of those two games, you'd be great just because the schedule definitely eases up because I believe you've got Arizona coming up. They're not anything special. I think you've got Jacksonville. It's a manageable game.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the rest of the division is just, completely chaotic at this point.
Yeah, who knows what the Panthers are going to be, how long Cam Newton's going to be out, when he comes back. Kyle Allen looked good last start, but I think he had about 17 turnovers in this game today. The Falcons, they just seem like, way too inconsistent. We know, Matt Ryan, he can be good. Julio Jones can be one of the best receivers in the league, yada, but Dan Quinn and that defense, for whatever reason, it's just not good. And the Bucs, we know they're a little bit of a disaster. But we're back from commercial. Cowboys up 3-0. Saints, Will Lutz lining up for a 40-yard field goal. Will Lutz 6 of 7 on the year with a long of 58, as we saw, I think, in the game winner against the Texans, which was, a candidate for one of the games of the year so far. The kick is up, and it is good.
He is just
automatic. Would have been good from 59 according to NBC's Next Gen Stats. So he's got a bit of a leg on him, doesn't he?
He's used to kicking in the dome. Like, he used to play his College Bowl at Georgia State, which was at the Georgia Dome before they switched stadiums. Just a really strong kicker that I think, will definitely be able to win some games for the Saints. Like he already did. He won that game against Houston.
Yeah, he did.
That might be besides Eddie Pinheiro, that might be the most clutch kick of the season thus far. Which one's more clutch?
Yeah, well, I think, both were fantastic, but I think I'd have to go with Eddie De Niro Pinheiro. Just the whole circumstances of that game with the Bears giving up the touchdown, the Broncos were going to go for 2, then they don't. There's a penalty, so then they do go for it. They miss the extra point, then they get the 2 because there's a penalty. And then, so the Bears losing, and then, that was crazy. But I think both teams were jubilant, to say the least, after that one. And we'll see. Maybe this game shapes up to be one of those instant classic finishes. But so far, still waiting for our first touchdown in this game. I thought in the pregame, both teams would be in the high 20s. I thought maybe a 28-27 kind of a ball game, maybe something along those lines. But still looking for our first touchdown. We'll see if the Cowboys can break out now. Let's see if they try and get Ezekiel Elliott involved a little bit more. Really hasn't been involved too much so far. 6 carries for 15 yards, so they're feeding Zeke,
right,
but just not the big chunk yards. But, sometimes you got to get those 2 or 3 yard attempts before you get the 10, 12 yarders.
Yeah, he's just got a long of 6 at this point. And then on the other side, Kamara he's 4 for 19 with a long of 13. I would have expected that both of them would have found pay dirt by this point. I feel like those are the 2 best weapons you have on your respective offenses at this point. And, you let the game kind of play out and see what Prescott and Bridgewater can do, once you've kind of got the running game to open up the pass.
Feeding to Zeke now, bottled up, hit almost initially right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe forward progress will give him a yard or 2, maybe depending on the spot. But running room tough to come by so far. In the first 16, 17 minutes or so, as both teams try and feel each other out a little bit. But maybe these attempts lead to some play-action passes. We really haven't seen too much of that.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for. Prescott's not going to give the Saints an easy turnover to kind of get early momentum, just because that would tip the scales in their favor. Because this is probably the toughest stadium to play in football, just with how loud it gets.
Yeah, it's probably in the top 5. I don't know if I'd say it's the toughest, but, you got Arrowhead, you got, where the Seahawks are playing.
Right.
Lambeau is always tough, but, you throw in some winter elements late in the year at some of the outdoor stadiums. But, yeah, and certainly it's loud, it's inside, so those sounds are just reverberating back onto the field. And it'll be really tough, maybe not necessarily for Dak, but maybe for Tyron Smith and some of the tackles on the edge who maybe can't hear some of the calls and audibles. Because, he doesn't have a microphone in his helmet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Dallas plays in a dome too, so they're kind of used to the speed of this sort of stuff, but obviously not being able to to audible, to really have some issues. Maybe this could be something that could be a problem for first year coordinator Kellen Moore. But so far so good. He's looked really good in his new role. What have you kind of seen out of him this year?
Yeah, I mean, well, Cowboys go 3-and-out on this drive after an incomplete pass to Amari Cooper, who was just really locked up on Marshawn Lattimore. I was telling Matt in the first quarter, one of the big matchups I was really looking forward to watching play out over this game. But yeah, Kellen Moore, it's wild to think he's already an offensive coordinator in the NFL after just one of the better college players at Boise State. As the Saints field the punt, and they are right at midfield, so. Saints are going to have some great field position to start this drive as Harris with a really nice return.
Yeah, he got
just kind of like shot out of a cannon
he got that
on
ball,
that.
and it was just like immediately like 20-yard gain. That's really going to open up an opportunity for the Saints to probably take the lead here. But you go back to Kellen Moore. I mean, we follow college football very closely. Like
one of the best winners at Boise State. On it's a small school, but they're like a you don't want to say they're a mid-major, but Boise State was one of the best programs of the turn of the century. So
I'll never forget
so many games.
I'll never forget the win in the Fiesta Bowl over Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the best games of all time. It was just an Oklahoma team that had Adrian Peterson on it. I mean, just
unbelievable.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, Oklahoma really didn't have a quarterback that game, but and that was a Jared Zabransky led Boise State team. But yeah, Kellen Moore. We were kind of talking about his future and what's next, and how long is he going to be in this role. I mean, if you got to figure, if you're an offensive coordinator at 31, you're going to be a head coach probably by 33, 34, 35. Certainly depends on how well Dak plays this year, how far they get in the playoffs this year, if they do make the playoffs. I like to think they're a playoff team. NFC is really competitive, but 31, I think they said he's the youngest coordinator since Sean McVay when he was a coordinator in 2014, and we know how that's worked out for McVay.
Yeah, and it's still very common in the NFL right now where, you're going to have 6-8 new hires at head coach every year, so you're looking at probably 75% of them being on the offensive side of the ball. And then you start to think okay, who's going to be the next new head coach? Maybe Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs.
Yeah, he might get a shot.
I mean, I think Moore is probably a couple of years away, but if he continues to have great success with Dallas, I mean, it's right there for the taking. I mean,
yeah, I probably wouldn't hire him this offseason.
No.
Unless it's a little too soon, but. Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited, and I think that's going to be a little bit more of a trend where we see some younger guys really get a shot, and we're already seeing it playing out with, younger head coaches, the McVays, Matt Nagy's of the world,
right?
Matt LaFleur, Zach Tyler, some of these other guys around the league. So, the guys are getting head coaching jobs at 33, 34, 35, and that's just kind of the way things are now, and. Where college is hiring guys like Lovie Smith and Herm Edwards and Mac Brown to resurrect their programs or try to resurrect their programs with some senior citizens. NFL is leaning into the opposite direction as the Saints take over at the 49, and we'll see if they are able to take the lead on this drive. As Bridgewater finds his receiver, they're going to have a first down and more.
Yeah,
that's the tight end Josh Hill with a big gain on first down.
Yeah,
nice 20-yard gain.
Yeah, it definitely puts them very in a position where they can definitely get some points. Probably too long of a field goal, but with Lutz, he can make anything.
Yeah, I mean they're already at the Dallas 31, so they're already in field goal range here. But they're not looking for a field goal. They're looking for 7.
They should go get 7. Take early control here. It's funny.
Really great catch by Hill after that pass was tipped by Lawrence at the line. Great block to spring him for another 8 to 10 yards or so after the catch. So Teddy Bridgewater 6 of 8 for 61 yards so far in that interception, which came off a pass that Ted Ginn should have caught. So. Pretty promising start so far. Alvin Kamara with a nice run, but a flag is on the play, and that's going to be coming back. That's on McCoy holding. So
yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Just Ron Burton in the chat is just saying that maybe Kellen Moore gets hired by the Falcons.
Wow.
I mean,
Dan Quinn is certainly on the hot seat.
I kind of ripped him today.
I saw that. And it's true. He is. Holding them back. He's not going to take them where they need to go. So,
just the last couple of hires that the Falcons have made a head coach, it was like, okay, Smitty was good, and then
that worked out for a while.
Yeah,
until it didn't.
Bobby Petrino was terrible.
We forget about that era.
Jim Mora Jr. had a good year. And then it was Dan Reeves.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what's Dan Reeves up to these days? Speaking of senior citizens coming back to the sideline.
I don't know. Is
he alive? Is he still with us?
I think he is still with us.
Okay, good. Because I was just wondering for a second.
I hope so.
I know he had some issues back in the day.
That loss for Atlanta today, that probably puts Quinn like on the hot seat. Like, he had the best odds of getting axed of anybody at this point, which was kind of surprising.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, like Brian Flores isn't getting fired.
No.
Like the Bengals aren't firing their coach 4 games into their season either, So
no, the only other person that would have been maybe Ron Rivera, but they've won 2 in a row with Carolina, so that's kind of taken some pressure off there. Jay Gruden is 0-4 in Washington.
Yeah, Doug Marrone. It feels like Gardner Minshew mania has kind of calmed the talk there amid all this Jalen Ramsey drama. So Teddy Bridgewater with a big back shoulder, well, not necessarily back shoulder throw. Michael Thomas came back for that one. A big gain for a first down there, and the Saints are in business here. Business is booming.
That's a great throw by Bridgewater. Even better catch by Thomas. Man, he is just spectacular. He catches everything.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great receivers in the league. I mean, with Antonio Brown, he was kind of like had it locked down as the best receiver in football the last few years. But with him gone, it's and you got Odell, you got Julio, you got Odell Beckham, you got Michael Thomas. Yeah, Nuke. I mean, there's when Tyreek Hill is going. Tyreek Hill probably at the bottom of that 4 or 5, 6 guys. But Michael Thomas is certainly one of the best. He's paid as the best. So
why are you?
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater does not need to be taking hits like that.
No,
he's got to have that internal clock going where he needs to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, he's been incredibly panicky back there. Like, I just felt like in that situation you have to feel the pressure and just throw it out of bounds. You don't need
to play another down.
Like, could you imagine having Taysom Hill out there for like the rest of the game?
Yeah, it's another guy we were talking about in the first quarter where it's like, he had a really nice 20-plus yard run, and it's nice that Sean Payton, he's creative. One of the better play callers, offensive minds in the NFL. How many other teams could play with 2 or 3 quarterbacks like this? But you don't want Taysom Hill dropping back and having to throw 30 times. But it looks like a couple more yards there for Kamara off left guard for 2 yards. He's up to 5 carries for 21 yards. Still looking for that big play if you're a Kamara fantasy owner. Really, all these players, you're looking for a big fantasy movement here. As the camera shows Drew Brees, it looks like he's got his old wrist playbook there that he's looking at, trying to stay involved. I read before the game he was going through his pregame routine.
Oh, yeah?
Doing everything he would normally do as if he were playing. And, I'm sure that's nice for him psychologically and mentally and whatnot. And, maybe a little bit of security for some of the teammates just to see him going out there. But he didn't do his pregame speech. He turned that over to Mario Davis, who did that. But Cowboys get a sack on Bridgewater there. It just kind of ragdolled him there.
Yeah, it looks like it was Collins on him. The ragdoll, just flinging him around.
Yeah.
I mean, Bridgewater's a little bit of a sinewy guy.
Oh, certainly,
You can't take
buck 90 soaking wet probably.
Let's just see. Is this kind of more of like bad blocking by the Saints, or just great pressure, or
he just split the double team and came right at him.
Yeah. Pete kind of got thrown off there a little bit. So this will be 4th and 16. Looks like Lutz is going to be attempting a 42-yarder. So
give the Saints the lead. The kick is up, and it's good.
Right down the middle.
So it's a field goal exhibition so far here, almost halfway through the second quarter here. Saints up 6-3. We're still kind of feeling each other out. It feels like maybe we're trending towards the under on this game.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any touchdowns so far, obviously. Captain Obvious analysis. But no big plays yet. Outside of the first play of the game, the Cowboys haven't been able to get the ball to Amari Cooper. Randall Cobb missed that would-be touchdown just off the fingertips when Dak scrambled a little bit. Jason Witten has a catch or two, but so far the Saints defense holding the Cowboys offense in check. So we'll see what Kellen Moore does as they start their 4th or 5th possession here. to start the second quarter.
Yeah, the Cowboys got to figure something out because right now Prescott's only 5 for 9 for 35 yards and a terrible 3.9 yards per attempt. Obviously, you want to get that above 7.5.
Yeah.
Because that's the issue with Dak. He will occasionally not throw the ball downfield, and you have a strong defense here in Dallas. To kind of play like a low scoring game like this, but like if you get behind the 8 ball, you're just what are you gonna do if you're just Dak and dunk?
Yeah, so there you go. I like that. Yeah, so far the longest passing play for the Cowboys, a 12-yarder to Jason Witten, who leads the team with 2 catches for 22 yards so far. Just the 1 catch for 7 yards. The first play of the game for the Cowboys to Coop, and 2 catches for 6 yards for Zeke. Randall Cobb still looking for his first catch. But I think he's still got to try and establish a run with Zeke. He's got 7 carries. They're feeding him. But so far the Saints defense has come to play. Do you feed Zeke on first and second down? Do you come out? Do you try and throw on first down? Try and spread out the Saints here? What do you think we're going to see from Kellen Moore in this Cowboys offense?
I think you got to be aggressive with like these next 2 plays. I mean, you could do some sort of powerful run with Zeke. Maybe try to find maybe try to get Cobb involved early. Maybe because like right now it's just really just been Witten in the receiving game with a little bit of Cooper there and some Zeke out of the backfield. But you got to feel pretty good about the pressure you've been able to put on Bridgewater. That might be able to continue. You might be able to say, hey, we've got some success with penetrating the Saints offensive line, which has been better before. This isn't like one of the peak Saints offensive lines of recent years, but I feel like you got to do more than a field goal here. You got to at least try to get a touchdown, try to keep this raucous crowd quiet. As you get closer to halftime, because you are laying 3 points here, so maybe not playing up to snuff at this point.
As the Saints
it's still early though.
Oh, it's so early, but the Saints kick it off deep, and we will have a touchback. So the Cowboys will take over at the 25 here. So we see what Dak Prescott can do as they're talking about captain play action. 24% of his passes were play action, 26-18, but a lot more this year, and it's working. 3rd in the league in completion percentage, 3rd in yards, and tied for 1st in touchdowns off play action through 3 weeks.
I will take all of those stats. You just look at that, 81% completion out of play action. That's outstanding.
Yeah, if it ain't broken, don't break it. So they're feeding Zeke. Those attempts are there. So it'll set up play action whenever they're ready to strike. And here we go.
Play action right now. You got to
put a little check down there to Zeke out of the backfield for 3 yards here. It'll set up a 2nd and 7 at the 23.
Not a really great ball there by Dak. So Zeke had to kind of like leap for it. And he's like, why are you making me do this?
Yeah, he wasn't able to turn and make anything of that. So gosh, a great catch to haul that in. Yeah, not the best though there, but they pick up 3 nonetheless. And Dak in shotgun formation. He's got 3 wide, and Zeke split to his right. So certainly a passing formation here. Zeke, it looks like there's some miscommunication there about how they're supposed to line up here as this play clock gets down to 3-2-1. And a handoff to Zeke for about 2 or 3 there. So it's going to set up about 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 here for the Cowboys. This could be prime Jason Witten territory, but the defense has got to be thinking that too.
It feels like Jason Witten territory here. I'm just thinking,
so 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4. Okay, a little bit more manageable, but I'm still expecting a pass here.
And Cowboys trying to play with a little bit of tempo here after that last play here. See if they can try and catch the Saints out of position or.
Okay.
A little check at the line.
I thought he was just doing this to make it like Zeke. We're gonna feed Zeke.
Let's feed Dak some spicy nugs from Wendy's.
That was amazing. That was amazing yesterday.
That's Jason Witten. Oh no! The catch and the fumble by Witten after what looked like a nice 15-yard gain, and it's coming back the other way. Saints are in business with their 2nd turnover already in a quarter and a half. Wow, that's a huge change in momentum. Witten had a 10-yard catch. He fumbles it. Klein on the force, Von Bell on the recovery, and he gets 11 yards on the recovery.
I got to see that again. I'm not sure if
we're at the Dallas 41.
I'm not sure if Witten had that, but if no, that was.
He had multiple football moves after that.
Yeah.
And that's just a great play by the defender
Bell.
Klein there to. Oh yeah.
No, he's down back. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
There we go. So that's a
Yeah.
worthwhile challenge. So we take back the 11-yard return by Von Bell. Gosh, just a heads-up play there by Klein to force that all over Witten's back. You love to see that hustle, never giving up.
No.
And Witten on my fantasy team out of desperation today. He's in the starting lineup, but that's going to hurt me. 3 catches for 44 yards and a big lost fumble there. Let's see what the Saints can do. They can try and get 7 out of this after getting a field goal on the Teddy Bridgewater. Wait, no, I'm flipping teams here. So that's the Cowboys with the turnover. Saints had the turnover earlier.
So what are you thinking for the first play from scrimmage for the Saints?
Well, if Drew Brees was under center, I might go for a play action fake to Alvin Kamara and try and hit Michael Thomas deep in the end zone. But with Teddy Bridgewater, I'm probably going to be a lot more conservative. But I want to get Alvin Kamara going, whether it be as a running back or as a receiver. I want to get the ball in his hands 25 times today. Let's see how many touches he has already today. As I try and look at the stats, he's got 5 carries, 21 yards, and still waiting for his first target in the receiving game. So, maybe that's what they look if they try and get Kamara involved as a receiver on this drive. I think, you get the ball in his hands in space, he's dangerous. He can go to the end zone on any play.
Like that's what you're saying. Like that's what he's the best at. Like he is unbelievable as a receiver out of the backfield. I mean, he was this way back at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like I know he hated running out of 3 wide receiver sets without a fullback.
Yeah.
Obviously with the whole Butch Jones, whatever the hell that was. But
Yeah, I don't think anybody really liked playing offense for Butch Jones or defense or being a backup on a Butch Jones offense or team in general. But yeah, I mean, boy, can you? One of the wilder transfer success stories, outside of Cam Newton and a couple other random players, it seems like when guys transfer, they don't really go to the next level. They don't necessarily pan out. They might be good, but they don't go to great, like, superstar level talents. And that certainly was the case with Kamara, who was still a third rounder. And I think it's already proven to be the case. But I think even 5, 8, 10 years from now, we're going to be talking about him as one of the best third round picks, of his generation.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When he got drafted by the Saints, like, I was pretty critical of that draft, and they hit on a lot of stuff. I will eat crow on that. Initially I was just like, Ramchek's been beat up. He's only played 1 year of football. I'm not really sure what he's going to do here. I mean, obviously, Lattimore had his issues with the hamstring, and then Kamara. I'm like, you already have Ingram and you have Peterson. It's like, why do you need this? And it's pretty clear, like, you need him. He's one of the 4 best running backs in football. Yeah,
I mean, we knew how good Mark Ingram was, and he's off to a really good start this year with the Ravens. I think he was leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns with 5 coming into this week, but looks like the referees have upheld that challenge. So it's going to be the Saints ball at the, let's see, where are we taking over here? At the 46. So really good field position so far for the Saints. As Bridgewater drops back, and here we go. Screen pass to Latavius Murray, but we got another flag on the play here. Let's see what this one's going to be. It looks like we got another holding penalty on Larry Warford here.
And Vander Esch is coming up pretty with like a serious limp right now for the Cowboys. So you don't want to see that. He's been outstanding for them out of Boise State.
Oh, wow. Just saw a note here from Jane Slater, one of the top Cowboys reporters. Just the 6th lost fumble of Jason Witten's career. And Jason Witten's been playing for 37 years. So that's, a little less than 1 lost fumble every 6 years. So
who could forget
one of the better ones.
Who could forget his first career touchdown pass from Danny White to beat the Eagles?
I forgot it. But, I mean, I'm not here to
to be fair, it wasn't on TV. It was on, like, a gramophone.
Okay, yeah, true. Yeah, that was in black and white. Actually, it was just on radio, just a radio-only broadcast. TV was still a few years away from being invented. But, yeah, that was also catch number 1,165 for Jason Witten. So that was fumble 9 in his career. He's lost 6 of those. Not really nice. Yeah, not exactly.
No.
But it's a big opportunity, big drive here for the Saints. They're playing at home. field goal exhibition so far. They could get a nice big cricket number here. If they could get 7 up on the board, that would be a big opportunity for them here to try and get some separation between the Cowboys before halftime.
Get a touchdown for Teddy. I feel like he really needs it. Like I just feel like if you go to halftime, up like what 9-3, you have the lead, but at the same time you don't really feel all that comfortable because your offense hasn't really got going.
One possession game, yeah.
And at this point, like Dallas had like a great completion to Witten, but he fumbled it. You know, maybe if he holds on to that, they've scored already.
Yep. So we were just looking, Jalen Smith on the sidelines. I don't know if it's just he's getting a blow or if this is a planned rest on this drive or what, but we'll wait to find out the status of Van Der Esch, if it's something that's going to keep him out longer or if it's something that he just needs to kind of regroup, get a glass of Gatorade, and he'll be back in a few plays. But Cowboys defense with a big stop nonetheless sets up a 2nd and 20 at about the 37-yard line. And Bridgewater out of shotgun. Gets the pass complete over the middle for about 6 yards. It's going to set up a 3rd and 14.
Yeah, that's not what you want. You can't win games with Bridgewater at 3rd and 14. You need like 3rd and 7 or better.
Yeah. When you're playing behind the sticks like that, penalties, they always hurt you, and it's a cliche, but it's a cliche because it's true. You don't want to be in 3rd and 16, 3rd and 15 all day. Ideally, you want to be winning on 1st and 2nd down, playing clean football, and give your backup quarterback some manageable down and distances to work with here. Empty backfield for Bridgewater here on 3rd and 15, drops back. Pretty good protection, gets rid of it. It's not good. Yeah. It's not going to do it. Just a couple of yards there on the short pass to Josh Hill. Josh Hill with his 3rd catch already of the night, but pretty much a disappointing drive there. That penalty really was a drive killer there. Pretty much ended any chance they were getting any points there.
Yeah, I don't like the play call there. Like you weren't even really anywhere close to to advancing the sticks. It's like if you throw an incompletion there, okay, like Morstead's going to still be out there to punt. Like just try to get something.
Yeah. Like where's Michael Thomas? Look at Michael Thomas. Can we do anything there?
But let's see what Morstead can do here.
I got a chance to pin him deep here. No fair catch. So we're going to have a little bit of a return here, a little bit of a juke.
Yeah, and that's
a modest gain there.
And that's Cobb. I think he gets about an 8-yard return there. A little bit of a scuffle there between these two NFC contenders. I got a feeling they'll probably meet each other in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't meet each other, I think both will be in there. Who's got the best chance of making the playoffs between the Cowboys and the Saints?
I would say the Cowboys, just because the Redskins the quarterback's not hurt. Redskins are Drek, and then obviously the Eagles and the Giants are both 2-2 are inconsistent right now. And I think with the Saints, like, you are still probably the best team in your division, but it's just so much in flux. I don't think you can really. I mean, the Falcons are terrible right now, but I think at this point, maybe Carolina gets hot, maybe Tampa gets hot, maybe the Saints keep it going. I don't know. I think it's still a little too early to tell in the NFC South. But like the East, it's the Cowboys. Yeah,
if Breeze was healthy, I would probably say the Saints definitively.
Yeah, that's the big key.
But you look at the NFC East, and we saw Dwayne Haskins today. I like his potential. I think it was a really good pick for Washington. But I don't think he should be playing this year. All along coming out of the draft, we were saying this guy's going to need a year to get ready. He came out after only 1 year. He was a redshirt freshman out of Ohio State. So on the Cowboys, I'm thinking Washington is 2 guaranteed wins for me on the schedule. I'm thinking the Giants have to be 2 guaranteed wins. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes looked really good in his first start. I don't know exactly what he did today. I could certainly look that up. But, I mean, Saquon Barkley's out. So, I mean, if you're the Cowboys, you got to sweep the Redskins and the Giants. Okay,
the Giants beat the Redskins.
Yeah, I'm looking at Daniel Jones' numbers. So he was 23 of 31, 225 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty solid. Yeah, I know Wayne Gallman had a couple of touchdowns. He was on my fantasy team, one of the bigger ads over the weekend with Saquon Barkley out. But yeah, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm looking at that. I got to go 4-0 against those two teams. And if you split with the Eagles, you'll go 5-1 in the division. You will take that all year. So
no doubt. If you go 5-1 in the division, you have to really like your chances of winning. Winning 10 games and winning the division.
And then really, if you control things in the division, and you go 500 on the road or so, and you start talking about, okay, what do we need to do to get a bye in the first round? What do we need to do to secure home field in the playoffs? Because we talk about the Seahawks have a great home field advantage, the Saints have a great home field advantage, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Packers, the Bears, the Rams. Well, maybe not the Rams because they play in front of like 17,000 people. But, we talk about a loaded NFC and a lot of great home field advantages. So the Cowboys, if they could play at home, as many playoff games at home as possible in Jerry's world, the better for them. But we'll see if the Cowboys can get some momentum going on offense. So far, just a 1-yard run from Zeke, and then, little traction so far for the Cowboys. The Saints defense playing really, really well here for almost the entirety of the first half here. About 4 minutes to go in the first half.
I really like their defensive front. They really get after the quarterback. They can stuff the run. They can do a lot of things, and I think that's really a big key for their success as a franchise right now.
Yeah, and Dak taking a hit there with the pressure coming around the left end there. I don't think that was Cam Jordan. He's normally on the other side, but still, bringing some pressure there, letting him know that they're coming for him. Oh, Davenport. Okay,
Marcus Davenport. Okay, the guy
off Tyron Smith too. Oh, just shucked his hands. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an impressive play there. Just beat him right off the snap. And Tyron Smith, one of the 2 or 3 best soft tackles in football. So it's a really impressive play. I know Saints fans are really excited about Davenport's future.
Yeah, they
big 3rd and 2 here for the Cowboys.
3rd and 2 here.
Dak looks to Cobb. There you go. There's Cobb. That's why they signed Randall Cobb in free agency. We know they got Coop. They're going to try and lock him up, get him a new deal whenever that does happen. I like Michael Gallup, whom they drafted. He's already shown flashes of being a really solid player. But you get Randall Cobb in free agency. You can line up in the slot in the backfield, move him around. He's a pro's pro. Had so many great years with the Packers on the receiving end of so many passes from Aaron Rodgers.
What I really like about the Cowboys receiving corps is there's like one guy that they all kind of feel like a certain position. You don't really have any redundancies there. So you kind of got like your speed.
Dak finds Coop for a big gain there, almost to midfield there, as you were saying about their receivers.
You got Coop that can kind of do a little bit of everything. Gallup can kind of stretch the field. You kind of got Cobb as kind of your possession receiver. And you got 2 different tight ends with Witten and Jarwin, as well as having Elliott out of the backfield. Yep. Just a lot of different stuff that Dak can work with. If the defense takes away one thing, they've got something else that they can take advantage of. Yeah,
looks like that Cooper catch we were just talking about that's coming back, offensive pass interference.
Yeah,
his hands getting near the face of Lattimore. Boy, is this matchup so far? Lattimore winning this one-on-one matchup here, really shutting down the Cowboys' big play threat on the offense. Let's see if they go back to Zeke here and trying to salvage the run here. On 1st and 20, they do hand it off to Zeke, who moves a pile a little bit for about 4, maybe 4.5. But, still no big plays in the passing game here for the Cowboys.
Yeah, just a lot of carries for Zeke. I mean, he's not really getting anything to really break through at this point. I think he was averaging, 2.5 yards per carry, which is not what you want to say.
Yeah, 10 carries for 25 yards for Zeke as the Cowboys face a 2nd and 17. We got a 2-minute warning here, so an extra minute or so here for the Cowboys to drop a play here as they try and find something, try and get a little bit of momentum here before halftime here. A little bit of a underwhelming first half. I don't want to say disappointing, but underwhelming for sure.
Yeah, you would have expected more than 9 points right here. This kind of feels like what the Notre Dame UGA game we did a couple weeks ago, where it was like low scoring.
A lot of penalties.
Not as many false starts in this game.
Yeah. Some of the college guys just lacking some mental discipline. But 6-3. Both defense. I don't know, is good defense or bad offense. I'd probably say it's pretty good defense.
Yeah. They look like they're playing at a very high level right here. You don't really see any big miscommunications in the back, like outside of a couple of passes that Witten has had. But like that's kind of more of him. Like he kind of boxes them out, gets open. He runs his 2 route tree, gets open, does his thing. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. But from beyond that, it just does look like it's been very good defense for both teams. let's see.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what the over-under on this game was before the game. I think it was... Actually, yeah, I have no idea. Oh, wait, yeah, okay. 46? 45? Yeah, so if you had the first half under, you're cashing some checks right now. You're popping some bottles.
You win.
You're celebrating, and you're probably ready to call it a night. But, yeah, shoot, if you could maybe put an under on the second half, I might do that too. But the line, Dallas was minus 2.5. I mean, we figured it'd be a close game. It's a close game. But, it would be a lot more exciting if it was like 17-14, 20-17, something along those lines. But, yeah, and we were talking in the first part of this game about the fantasy impact with Zeke and Kamara and Michael Thomas, Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, probably all in lineups. Maybe the Cowboys defense, even if you're, trying to stream a breezeless offense. But so far, if you're any of those fantasy owners, you're really disappointed so far. And I mean, I have Cooper in one league and Witten in another league. I don't think I'm going against any of these Saints guys, but this is the week where you wish you were going against Kamara and Thomas, right?
Yeah, definitely. I heard what you were saying, like a breezeless offense. That's just a really good fantasy name for somebody that like that. But it's not like the Saints. If like you're like a Panthers or Bucks or Falcons fan. I don't know. You expect a little more fireworks out of this. So we're back from the 2-minute warning, and Prescott takes the ball out of the gun, completes it to Elliott outside for probably about probably like a 5-yard gain there.
Zeke catching some passes on the left boundary. That's like the second or third time already that they've hit him on that side of the field. So, yeah, Zeke up to 4 catches. So you got Zeke in a PPR league. At least he's helping you out in that regard without much in the way of yardage.
He's gotten a lot better at that. Like coming out of Ohio State, he was kind of more like run and block, and catching was kind of like his third best skill.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really committed himself to being a huge part of that game. Because if you can't do that, you become a liability. You become Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, you can't play on three. I mean, Zeke is a great pass blocker and protection. But yeah, that's a great point. You need to be a 3-down back. You need to be versatile. You need to be able to do everything you can. And we're kind of seeing that around the league, and we're kind of seeing that come down to the college level, where we're seeing some of the guys like Jonathan Taylor, a top running back prospect at Wisconsin. The guy could rush for 2,000 yards a season, but never had a receiving touchdown until this year, and he had 2 in the opener, and he added a third one in the second game of the season. So that's a potential fantasy monster for all you fantasy guys thinking about next year.
Yeah, is he like
Cowboys facing a 3rd and 8, and the Cowboys get a completion to the right side of Jarwin, but it's going to be a yard shy of the sticks. I think they got to go for it, though. Be a little bit aggressive. It's just a yard.
Garrett's thinking about it. He's got that look in his eye. He's like, we're going to go. He's like, go for it. He's like, do it.
I think we'll see the Saints call a timeout here, or the Cowboys call a timeout. Yeah, Saints call a timeout. So they're either going to stop them or they're going to get the ball back here off a punt. But if I'm Dallas, they're on the Dallas 43. Let's see, if you're thinking, all right, we got to go for it. You try and get some points here before the end of the half, whether it's a field goal try or you try and push it into the end zone. If you go for it and you don't get it, the Saints are taking over at the 43, and they're a play away from a Lutz field goal at least. But we've seen the Cowboys defense
that's what I was about to
play
say.
really well. The Saints have had great field position and haven't been able to do a lot with it. So I think that's why you go for it. We got Dak on the field, and the Cowboys are going to go for it. Let's see what kind of play they run.
Yeah, I got to feel like they're just going to run it right at the gut.
Yeah, I'm sneaking it here with my quarterback. But they give it to Zeke, and
it looks like he got it.
Spot's going to be crucial. But, yeah, he got it by about half a yard, or about I
don't know why
they're saying ball is loose here. We don't have the sound, but it looked like he picked it up. So we'll have a measurement here.
Measurement.
They're not saying anything about whether he was down or a fumble. Did he just point it to the Saints? So that's a fumble?
Okay, let's see. Did he really fumble that?
Let's see, we're looking at the slow-mo replay right now. Is that right or left elbow down when the ball starts to come out?
I mean,
is there any kind of movement?
I thought his elbow might have been down, but if he rolled it a fumble, I'm not sure if you can really overturn that.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely had I think his elbow is, I think he is down. I think that's going to be not a fumble. and I think that's going to be a Dallas first down. So I'm staking my claim right there.
Yeah, because apart from that angle, it looked like, his elbow was down and the ball hadn't been completely jarred loose at that point. So the previous angle was, you could maybe see the case for, them rolling for a fumble. But, I thought it was a Dallas first down initially.
Yeah, he definitely had the yard gained. And then there's the commotion, It just looks like one of those things where the defense, punches the ball out well after the play. He's down. The replay looked like it was closer than we initially first thought. But I think when they come out of this replay, it'll be Dallas ball. It'll be a first down for them. But certainly close. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you might be sweating out this commercial a little bit because referees and officials have been known to botch some easy calls.
They will do that from time to time. I know they're trying their best, but it's a large crew, and there's an opportunity for somebody to make a mistake. That's just how it goes. It's unfortunate, but what if this ends up the Saints get the ball in really good field position? They get an opportunity, then they score some points here. Take some huge momentum into halftime. Maybe they can translate that into the second half. I mean, Dallas felt like they had a first down. They went for it on fourth down. I thought they converted it. I thought I agree. I agree with you. That was the right call to go for it.
Absolutely.
Good play call. Just maybe didn't hold on to the ball.
So assuming this is going to be overturned via replay, Dallas will keep possession. They'll have a first down at about the 44. So a minute and a half. I think they have 1 or 2 timeouts remaining. So there's still a good amount of time here for them to get in position and at least attempt a field goal, if not try and take some shots deep, which we haven't seen from either side yet. Very conservative offensive attacks so far, but we'll see here. Okay, so the play stands. Yeah, it looks like Zeke's left elbow is down, and the ball is still in his hands. Very close. But it's going to be Saints ball. It's a huge pivotal play there. Another turnover in this game. And the Saints, again, in business with a very short field here. Already across midfield here with Bridgewater in the shotgun, empty backfield. He's got Michael Thomas for about an 8-9 yard gain. Clock's going to run here as we hit about 1:20. Saints have a timeout left. Dallas has both of theirs, but Dallas isn't going to be using their timeouts. But plenty of time here for the Saints to do what they want to do here. They don't really need a rush. As Bridgewater drops back.
Completes that to Thomas again. Actually, that was not Thomas. That was – who was that? That was
Jared Cook?
That was Ted Ginn Jr., I think. So, yeah, you're about inside of a minute, about 55 seconds left. When do you start thinking about calling a timeout if you're the Saints?
Probably when there's 15 to 25 seconds to go. So after a couple more plays here. And that's going to be incomplete. Okay, that's incomplete to Cook along the right sideline here. So 2nd and 10, 43 seconds to go. Still got a timeout in the back pocket. So you can, run the full complement of your playbook here. Ooh, almost a really nice. Did he get that? He definitely didn't get two.
I feel like he got his I feel like his arm hit the sidelines at the same time. But you have an incompletion. You give yourself some time to kind of slow down. Have some clock, more space to work with. I think just playing with composure here will be big for Bridgewater because if he hurries, that could be problematic. And
taking a shot deep, and that's not even close at all.
No, that was
looking at Ted Ginn, but that one was off by about 8-9 yards. But I like taking a shot, and if you're going to take a shot, I like taking it earlier in the downs and not on 3rd down. But 3rd and 10, 39 seconds to go here. I might be looking to do something over the middle of the field. Bridgewater's been looking to the perimeter for the better part of the evening so far. But, if they're going to give you the middle of the field, if you can get a first down here, then you might want to use your timeout. But we'll see what they do here.
Yeah, get a first down there. Maybe run another play, take a knee, kind of give yourself some time to set up a field goal.
Dropping back. And Bridgewater is going to be high. Looking for Jared Cook, but we got a flag on the play. Could this be roughing the passer? That's what Drew Brees is signaling. And that's what the ref is
Yeah.
signaling. So that's going to be 15 yards and an automatic first down. And now the Saints got to be thinking 7
Yeah.
because they're going to be at about the 20-yard line or inside the 20. 35 seconds to go. It's still plenty of time here.
What a terrible time for a penalty. You've had Bridgewater wasn't close to completing it. Well, I mean, like the first one was like a decent pass to Cook, but like the second one like sailed out of the back of the end zone. This one was high.
Yeah, can't be hitting the guy around the knees late.
Especially him.
Yeah.
of all human beings.
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness, it's like that's brutal for the Cowboys. This just sounds like if the Saints don't get 7 here, they messed up.
Yeah. So Saints dropping back, looking right. He's got again. It looks like at the 10. Tick tick. 24 seconds to go here. Not calling that timeout yet. Don't know why they're not calling timeout yet. As the clock winds down, 15 seconds, 14 seconds. They still have not used that timeout, so Bridgewater drops back. He has the completion.
Kamara.
Hit the first down to the 1 or 2. You're going to have to call a timeout now with 4 or 3 seconds to go here.
And there's a
But
flag.
they should have called that timeout.
There's a flag on the field with about 4 seconds left. I don't know what the Saints were doing there. They just wasted about 15 seconds.
Yeah, that was terrible clock management. That's from the Les Miles
offsides.
School of Clock Management, from the Andy Reid School of Clock Management.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, that penalty doesn't do them any good. It's half the distance to the goal line, but they want 15 more seconds so they could run more than one play here. So now it's go for the touchdown or settle for the field goal. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer for Sean Payton. He's going to go for it.
I just feel like with 4 seconds left, like you are close enough to the end zone where like if you don't see anything, just
Yeah.
But
take like 2-3 seconds here. Maybe give yourself 1 second. But, yeah, this is flirting with disaster. You can't take these timeouts with you in the second half. This is brutal. And now they're lining up in an I formation for, I think, the first time all day. And this would have been prime Taysom Hill territory. Nope. They're going to get 1 more second on the play. So they get 1 more play. So still.
I really wish Drew Brees was in here. He would have a better idea of what to do right here.
Still, they used that timeout. They would have been able to run 2 more plays and still settle for a field goal if not for that. So they had 1 shot, 0 for 1, and now they'll settle for a chip shot 19-yard field goal, which, I don't want to jinx him, but for Will Lutz, this is, it's 19 yards. I think you and me could go out there. We could drill one from 19, so...
Maybe. I've made a 19-yard field goal before. Once in my life, when I was an athlete. So
Okay.
I don't know. That looks pretty far.
From the old extra point distance, the kick is up and it is good. So Will Lutz 9, Dallas 3 at halftime. A little bit of a lackluster offensive exhibition here in the first half from New Orleans in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Saints will receive the kickoff to start the second half as they look to extend their lead, but 9-3, I mean, he'll take that, but also you got to feel like you left, maybe 4 to 8 plus points off the board there, settling for a couple field goals when you could add 7.
Yeah, I know you get the ball back to start the second half, but, I mean, you should probably be winning right now, like 13-3 or something like that.
Yeah, and I think
maybe 17. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they could have 17, and I think for the Cowboys too, I think they're thinking, hey, we should add 7 on that scoring drive where they had to settle for 3 because a good throw from Dak to Randall Cobb and that's a touchdown. Instead, it's off the fingertips and they have to settle for 3. But 9-3, Saints lead at halftime. Let's look at some of the halftime stats here at this game here, and while we're at halftime, maybe we could whip around some of the scores and scores and things we liked from around the league. But first things first, Dak 11 of 15, no touchdowns, no picks at the half. Zeke 11 carries for 27 yards. Dak 1 carry for 7 yards. Witten, the leading catcher, 3 catches, 38 yards. He did lose that fumble. Zeke with 4 catches and 18 yards. Amari Cooper, 1 catch for 7 yards, came in the first play of the game. On the Saints, Teddy Bridgewater, 14 of 19 passing, 124 yards. Did have that pick that was bobbled off the receiver's hands, Ted Ginn's hands. Alvin Kamara, just like Zeke, a very quiet first half. Just 6 carries for 21 yards. Taysom Hill had a carry for 18 yards. Receiving-wise, Michael Thomas, 5 catches, 57 yards. Josh Hill, 3 for 29. Kamara, 2 for 13. And Ted Ginn with 2 for 12. But defensive showing from the first half. Cowboys with a couple sacks. Saints, no sacks, but a few turnovers from both teams. So as we look at some of the team stats, anything that catches my eye, 2 for 7 on third down were the Cowboys. Saints are 1 of 5, so neither team really showing much in the way of offensive efficiency. 2 fumbles lost by the Cowboys and that interception by the Saints. So 3 total turnovers, Saints controlling the time of possession, but no touchdowns. That's not helping anybody. That's not helping any fantasy owners.
No. That's what's blowing my mind here is like there's been 3 pretty costly turnovers, and we don't have a touchdown for either team in that. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of, I guess both teams head into halftime. It's like, oh, we should absolutely have more points than this, and you don't because you were unable to execute in, the red zone for the Saints, and the Cowboys, just ball security issues.
Yeah, 157 total yards for the Saints on 5 drives, 115 total yards for the Cowboys on 5 drives. So not much in the way of offensive fireworks, but let's take a look at some of these scores from some of the games earlier today. I'm just going to go in chronological order here as ESPN has them listed out. Titans 24, Falcons 10. Another big day for Marcus Mariota, 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry hit 100 yards. Falcons, you're saying Dan Quinn is on the hottest of all hot seats. Do you think he makes it, to week 6, week 7?
I think he makes it to week 6 or week 7.
We
but
don't see a whole lot of coaches fired mid-season anymore.
No, like Matt Verderam was saying earlier that Arthur Blank doesn't like to meddle. He likes to give people the benefit of the doubt multiple times over. But Matt Ryan completed 53 passes for 397 yards at home, and you still lost by 2 scores. Yeah,
those are you see that stat line. You got to win those games. Just not good. They fell down early, 24-7 at halftime. But just a bad offensive showing from the Falcons.
But a good win for the Titans to kind of get back into it. You're in a 4-way tie for first place in the AFC South. Both of these teams were reeling, and then Tennessee came out, played their brand of football that's very physical, and it's getting back to the identity that they have under Mike Vrabel.
Patriots had a little bit of a nail biter, jumped out to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Looked like this was going to be a blowout against the Bills. Bills were undefeated. They're kind of feeling themselves a little bit, and you think maybe this is when we're going to do it. This is when we're going to knock off New England. Nope. Patriots hold on for a 16-10 win. Although the Patriots only got 3 points after the first quarter, so that Bills defense looking pretty legit, looking pretty good. Josh Allen had a miserable day at the office, 3 interceptions, left with an injury. But how about this? Frank Gore tops 100 yards, joins Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, 15,000 career rushing yards. How about that? Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Given he had those knee injuries at Miami.
Yeah.
And he's gonna he's gonna get inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2085.
Yeah.
5 years after he retires.
Right? Yeah, it's like we joke the year is 2034 and Frank Gore is in somebody's fantasy lineup. It's just it's unbelievable how much
he's like part human, part rock.
Yeah. It's almost a testament to whoever did his knee surgeries that give him a new lease in life. I remember the old you didn't want to own Frank Gore because oh man, this guy's gonna get hurt. I just can't trust it. But shoot, 2019 and the guy he ran for 100 yards in this game, top 15,000. Albeit in a losing effort for the Bills as the Patriots improved to 4-0.
Hey, the Bills covered. If Josh Allen didn't get hurt and play terribly, they might have had a shot at winning. They gave him.
Yeah.
I still have true. I still want to see a little bit more out of the Bills, but you can't be you didn't get embarrassed home against the evil empire, so you got to feel good. Next game was probably the most interesting one of the first window, where the Kansas City Chiefs were able to hold off the Detroit Lions in Motown and win 34-30. They got a late touchdown, and then obviously Matthew Stafford tried to throw a couple of Hail Marys. Almost had one go in there. I wanted him to get his first signature win as a professional. It just didn't happen this week.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this one. No passing touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes, and he's playing indoors. We're thinking, he's going to throw for 700
that's unbelievable.
yards, 11 touchdowns, and no passing touchdowns just for the 4th time in his career, which 4 seemed like a lot to me, especially since he threw 50 last year in his first year starting. So, Chiefs got the late touchdown, came alive there at the end, but Detroit looking a lot better than I think maybe a lot of us anticipated coming into the year. But Chiefs and Patriots both 4-0. For my money, the 2 best teams, 1-2, 2-1 in the NFL so far through 4 weeks as we kind of continue to cycle through some of the early games here as we are at halftime of the Cowboys and Saints. Raiders and Colts. I thought this one was going to be not an easy win because there's really no such thing as an easy win in the NFL unless you're playing this year's version of the Dolphins or, some of those old Bengals or Lions teams. But hosting the Raiders, granted the Colts did have a number of injuries, Darius Leonard among them, who didn't play on defense. But Raiders get a big 31-24 win over the Colts, and Colts got 14 late points in the 4th quarter. But, boy, the Raiders, we make fun of them a lot. We mock John Gruden a lot. We mock, the whole Davis family. The whole Antonio Brown fiasco in the offseason and preseason. But, they got to win. They're 2-2. I mean, I think a lot of teams would take being 2-2 after the first quarter.
They're right in the mix for a playoff spot in the AFC. They're not going to catch.
I mean, they're not going to hold our horses, but
it's the AFC. They're not going to catch like the Chiefs, but like 2-2, it's like, hey, you're right there. But
baby steps, right? You talk about what they win 4 games last year, something like that. So
they won 12 that one year, a couple years ago.
Yeah,
got to represent Raider Nation here. Just blog, baby.
The almost MVP season for Derek Carr, where he got hurt late in the year, right before the playoffs. Which
I think,
who knows what could have happened. If he doesn't get injured that year. But 2-2. Maybe you start thinking, hey, maybe we can win 6, maybe we can win 7, and you start getting a little bit of momentum early on. Maybe they go another 2-2 in October, or even 3-1. Then you get a little bit of momentum. You start thinking you could win. As injuries mount for other teams, who knows what could happen. But Raiders get a big win over the Colts to improve to 2-2. Colts drop to 2-2. Chargers over the Dolphins. The Chargers are probably the most popular pick in everybody's survivor leagues this week, as the Dolphins are obviously, not trying to win every game this year with their roster. But Melvin Gordon comes back, but Austin Eckler had another monster game. If you're a fantasy owner, you're probably a little bit worried that Melvin's back, but Eckler had at least another monster game, a couple of touchdowns and a 300-yard game for Phil Rivers as the Chargers move up to 2-2. Where do you put the Chargers in the AFC hierarchy? We talk about the Patriots and the Chiefs being the clear 1-2. Chargers were right there game for game with the Chiefs last year. Through the quarter pole of the season, where are the Chargers in your AFC hierarchy?
I tell you what, they are the hardest team for me to figure out in the AFC. At the beginning of the year, I had them as the de facto number 5 seed in the AFC, just because I didn't think they were better than the Chiefs. But you could make the argument that they were 3 or 4 with the Colts in that era.
Yeah.
I think they've pulled back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
the Derwin James injury, and then it seems like they had 10 other injuries prop up. It seems like they're always besieged by injuries, but
I have them some of them at 6 to 8 range right now.
Okay.
I think obviously the AFC South is all jumbled at 2-2. I think
you like them more than the Ravens or the Browns.
I like them more than the Browns. Maybe not necessarily the Ravens. Then again, the Ravens didn't look good today, and their 2 wins are against the Dolphins and Cardinals. So take that with what you will.
True.
I would kind of say that I have the how I feel about the Chargers is kind of how I feel better about them than the Titans, but maybe not as much as I like the Bills. So they're kind of in that area. What about you?
Yeah, I'd probably have them in that maybe as high as the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC. On any given week, I could make a case that they're better than the Browns or the Ravens or anybody in the AFC South. But yeah, I mean, it's such a big gap between the Patriots and the Chiefs for 1-2 in the AFC. Let's keep going through some of these scores here as we're at halftime of the Saints and Cowboys. Saints up 9-3. Patrick Schmidt here next to John Bueller here. Also, just another casual reminder, be sure to listen to Stacking the Box wherever you listen to your Apple podcast or Stitcher, wherever. Host Matt Verderam and Josh Hill, featuring former NFL offensive lineman Jeff Schwartz. Be sure to rate and review and subscribe and all that good stuff. Nate Burleson will be on Monday's show, one of the CBS pre-post halftime show hosts. And, of course, you know him from Good Morning Football on NFL Network, so be sure to listen to that here. Let's keep scrolling through some of these scores here. Redskins versus Giants here. Speaking of the NFC East, a little bit earlier here, Dwayne Haskins versus Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones in his second career start, Dwayne Haskins in his first. Daniel Jones got the better of Haskins. Haskins just didn't look good at all through 3 interceptions, 9 of 17 passing, and Case Keenum had to come in on relief of Haskins. Short term, what are your thoughts on Haskins? Long term, what are your thoughts on Haskins?
Short term, this was a no-win situation putting him in today. I understand it. Obviously, Keenum went out there and played terribly. He threw a pick and then had 3 straight punts. Obviously, Gruden's feeling a lot of pressure, wanting to put somebody else. I don't think he wanted to draft him. I think this is kind of more of a Dan Snyder sort of manipulating thing. But you have to go with him now because you can't go back and rattle his confidence. I liked him a lot coming out of Ohio State. I thought he needed to wait because he was just raw, put up great numbers in Columbus. But right now, the Redskins are undeniably the worst team in the NFC, and it's not even close.
Yeah, and it looks like we're ready for the second half from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome here as we're showing some of the stats from the first half as the Cowboys get ready to kick off to the Saints, who will receive the second half kickoff as they lead 9-3 here as we get ready for the third quarter from New Orleans. And we're going to have another touchback here as the Saints will take over from the 25 after that booming kick. What's Sean Payton saying? He's liked what he's seen from Teddy Bridgewater so far. Bridgewater's been playing okay. We just got to cut down on these penalties. Something we were griping about in that second quarter. If New Orleans can clean that up, play a little bit better, they've outplayed the Cowboys so far. So we'll see if that can hold up into the end of the second half. But 6 penalties for 60 yards for the Saints in the first half. You're not going to put yourself in too many good positions when you're doing that.
Yeah, he's spot on about the penalties. You can't win playing that way. And I will say that I was saying Bridgewater's played fine. That's just. Fine doesn't mean fine's not really assuring.
Yeah, you want to be better than fine. Yeah, fine's
Teddy
just
Bridgewater's playing
he
great.
Didn't stink. Yeah, but it's like
what's he supposed to be Teddy was satisfactory.
Yeah, it was
pass fail and he passed.
Yeah, could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Yeah, he's no Mitchell Trubisky.
He's no Mitchell. Yeah, that's that. His injury earlier, that was rough.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I don't think we've even seen an update about that. But his left shoulder was in a sling. We'll see. Maybe that's a separated shoulder. Maybe it's a collarbone issue. Who knows? But Chase Daniel did okay in relief of him, and the playbook didn't have to change too much. And the Bears' defense was rock solid as always, and they got the win. So I'm expecting him to be out for at least a few weeks. But
Yeah, I think you can at least tread water with Daniel. He knows the offense. He's not going to do anything dumb. He knows what Nagy's doing. If he is out for a little bit, you would probably expect that they're going to promote Tyler Bray from the practice squad.
You're going to need somebody else. Yeah, maybe they sign somebody.
I don't know.
Depending on how long.
It's not a good look out there for free
agents. There's no quarterbacks, no good quarterbacks on the street on September 30th or 29th. If you're a good quarterback, you're signed. Speaking of Chase Daniel, a veteran quarterback, been in the system for a long time. Very similar to what the Saints fans are saying about Teddy Bridgewater. He's a young veteran, but he's a veteran nonetheless, been in the system for a few years, knows the staff knows him. As the Saints face a 4th and 1 here, the Cowboys have a man down here Don't know who that is.
Looks like
Is that Jones? Byron Jones?
Actually, it might be Chidobe Awuzie.
Oh, yeah, that's who it is, yeah. Yep. So the Saints facing a 4th and 1,
I think that's
and Morstead back on a punt.
I think that's the first time I've said his name without yelling it like Drew Pearson.
Oh, yeah.
So I usually just write it out because like otherwise I'm just going to scream it out loud.
Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes it's easy to get excited. Football is a very excitable game here. Although this game has not been very excitable here. A lot of punts, a lot of field goals, no touchdowns.
You need it better than.
But a really good punt, it's going to take a little bit of a Cowboys bounce. But Cowboys are going to take over at about the 15, 16-yard line here, deep in their own territory. So the first field position so far for the Cowboys as they look to take over, down 6, 13:31 left in the third quarter. And the Saints really controlling things so far with a 73.5 win probability right now here early in the second half. But it only takes one big play by the Cowboys to really change that number.
Yeah, I wonder if Teddy is if he's still playing fine, if it's still fine, because maybe what's like the next step below fine on a drive like that.
Adequate? Yeah. I mean, we need to break out a thesaurus. Yeah, adequate. I think satisfactory is maybe a little bit more glowing.
You know what? We're gonna pull
decent.
We're gonna pull up a thesaurus, and we're gonna see like which ways describe the play of Teddy Bridgewater right now.
Yeah.
Thesaurus by Merriam-Webster. Okay, the word fine. In a satisfactory way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very glowing. It's not very complimentary. It's like it didn't hurt us. We didn't lose because of him.
There are a lot of adverbs on here. Acceptably, creditably, decently, good.
Yeah.
Middlingly.
Yeah, we don't need to make it an adverb, but we don't need the ly at the end. But
So that one's
so. Yeah, that feels like. Somebody was like, yeah, you had a so-so performance. That's not good. That would be like the opposite of fine.
Fine
would be like, yeah, he had 180 yards passing, no touchdowns, but no picks, no bad turnovers. He made the plays when he needed to on third down.
Yeah, he made the plays when he needed to. He wasn't deplorably, it wasn't disastrously, it wasn't dreadfully, it wasn't horrendously.
Yeah.
It was just fine.
I've seen worse.
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
I've seen Blake Bortles play quarterback.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I was just thinking, like, when I wrote about, like, if the Bears do have to go sign a free agent, some of the names that you could be in consideration for are Joe Callahan, David Fales, Brock Osweiler, Cardell Jones, Landry Jones. See if you want to get him to leave the XFL.
Yeah, I don't know about any of those dudes. I mean, we've seen
You're not
David
down
Fales
with
Chicago.
You're not down with some Brocktober in Chi-Town?
No, not at all.
No, I
don't think they're gonna go down that road.
I mean, if I saw him, I could boo him on the L.
Yeah, that would be an easy one.
He's tall, though. He's tall, and he's available.
Dak with a 9-yard gain, maybe 9.5, just shy to Amari Cooper with his second grab. First since the first play of the game for the Cowboys. So we see the stats for Dak in the third quarter. He's been perfect, 22 out of 22, 384 yards, 3 touches, and a 158.3 quarterback rating.
That is just perfection right there.
That's awesome. Whatever halftime adjustments Kellen Moore and that offensive staff have made, they've been more than fine. Definitely more than adequate. Definitely more than so-so.
What if he goes up to Dak and says, here's your halftime adjustment. It's the third quarter. And you're perfect in the third quarter, man. Go get it done.
Be perfect. Can you be perfect?
Can you be perfect, please?
Yeah. It's a nice Friday Night Lights quote for us all. But let's see if the Cowboys can get a little bit of momentum because they haven't been able to do anything all day. Still about 20, 22 yards shy of getting just to midfield. But let's see if they unleash Dak a little bit here. A little flare-out pass to Zeke for another couple of yards here. Zeke with a handful of catches, but they're all for 2-3 yards here. They get him out in space, but they got a guy or two ready to knock him down.
Yeah, Klein was right there to make the tackle.
Or was that, yeah.
Klein, Apple, Saints people outside. They are getting a little bit of penetration
Good pressure.
there.
I think it was Sheldon Rankins, the pressure on the interior, their former first-round pick, who had a lot of injuries so far early in his career, but when he's good, he's a disruptor. Dak in the shotgun. Zeke split to his left. 2nd and 7 here for the Cowboys. Play clock ticking. 2-1. Gets it off just in time. Another short pass to Randall Cobb. It'll set up a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 4. Probably still got a pass here, but maybe they get Dak out on the run a little bit here. As we know, Jason Witt in territory. Okay, 3rd and 2. So that's a lot shorter than I thought. So you can still run that here.
Oh yeah, you can do really anything out of here. I think
Yeah.
you should use that to your advantage to move the sticks with the Saints, because like I said, you got to get points here. You got to take advantage of the Saints coming out flat. Like the Saints should have scored a touchdown like at the first last drive before the half, and what was that to start this half? And
So 3rd and 2.
a little bit of a pass break up there.
Incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like Bell
Nice
got.
defense by the Saints.
There is a flag.
Okay. Dak seems encouraged, thinks it's going to be on the defense. We'll see as the officials huddle. Preliminary call looks like defensive holding, maybe? Or defensive pass interference, maybe?
Yeah, I think it might be on the defense here.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's going to be on the defense. Just what's the call going to be? Okay, pass interference on the defense.
Okay, new set of downs for the Cowboys here.
Okay.
All right. I guess.
Yeah, I'm the guy that made the play. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hook your arms around him like that before the ball gets there. That's an easy call to make.
I was trying
So
to
it'll be 1st and 10 from the 41 for the boys. Moving left to right on your radio dial, but you're not listening on the radio. And there you go. Zeke picks up about a good 4 on 1st down. That might be their best gain on 1st down so far today, at least through the run game.
It's like, is that the best run from Zeke today?
Yeah, I think it was.
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah. Gotta have better production than that for sure. But
You keep feeding Zeke, but you wonder if he's full.
he might be full. He might just, maybe he
I'm
needs
so tired of
maybe he had a
eating
late lunch or something,
Late lunch.
Dak to Coop for the 1st down. They're across midfield now. Now the Cowboys are probably feeling a little bit more confident. They haven't been able to move the ball this well since early in the 1st quarter when they got a 28-yard field goal from Brett Maher.
Maher. Is that how you say that?
I think so, yeah.
I'm just gonna go with that. I've
I
never.
it's not like Bill Maher.
I've never said his name before because I didn't know how to pronounce it. So
Yeah.
I was just waiting for somebody to say it. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say from here on
We're
out.
going to go with it. I mean,
Maher.
we're riding with it.
Maher.
Dak back to press, surveys the field, a lot of time to throw. Jason Witten on the reception. It's going to be another 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys as they get into, pretty close to field goal range,
Looks
I
like
should say.
they're gonna go a little bit with pace here.
Yeah.
They got Witten off the field. It's like, you did your job. Now let's get somebody else out here.
Yeah, we'll bring him back when it's 3rd down, or we're going to run it. But, yeah, trying to play with a little bit of tempo. Try and spread out the defense, maybe get them a little bit winded here. Feed Zeke, hit in the backfield. Defense was ready for that one.
Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious that Jarwin was going to be the 6th blocking tight end there. Like, okay, we're clearly going to go run. The rest of the receivers are out there just as a decoy. Just to attempt to go hurry up and then to do nothing out of that. I'm just like, what's this? But I think Rankins has been playing a very good game for the Saints. I feel like he's in on the action all the time.
Yeah, he's a player I really like. I mean, he's had some really tough luck injuries, but when he's been on the field, he's great. Dak down the seam to Jarwin.
First
inside
and goal.
the 5. It's going to be down at the 2.
I think
The best touchdown opportunity so far of the night for either team.
that was a great throw.
Is a heck of a throw. 35-yarder
See,
to Blake Jarwin.
you Blake a
Great
guy
route.
gets
Just shook the defender. I think that was Klein who was covering him for the first 20 yards or so. Nice little catch there. Reminds me of Jay Novacek from back in the day.
I was thinking that a little bit of a Jay Novacek just running along the seam, just right there, put it where only he can catch it. And you're in business here, as we kind of go to a commercial break.
Looks like we had Marcus Davenport down for the Saints, being 10-2. Let's see. His return probably probable here. I'm no doctor, but based on his reaction and he bounced up, I think it was just one of those situations where you just, you gotta kind of recalibrate things for 20, 30 seconds at the end of a play.
I fell on the field turf and my skin hurts.
Yeah, I mean it does hurt. It burns, and you get all those black rubber pellets in your eyes. It's brutal. But the Cowboys are in business here. I think you got to just feed Zeke here on first down, second down.
Maybe,
and if you're still not in, then try and roll out Dak a little bit here, a little run pass option here.
I just want to go power, just like 2 tight ends, fullback.
Yeah,
just
absolutely. Witten and Jarwin on the field. Get a fullback out there, and just feed Zeke.
Take this back to like 1975 and just
shoot. Even like
break their will.
Shoot, even like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, that's definitely some old school throwback football. And when you think you have the best offensive line in football, you got the highest paid running back in the NFL. You're on the 2-yard line. You haven't scored yet. You're playing a potential playoff team on the road. I mean, you got to go for gotta do what you do best, and that's what they do best. So I fully expect Ezekiel Elliott to get a touchdown here. And the Saints know who's getting the ball. The Saints know 21's getting the ball. They know they're going to feed Zeke. So we're going to see this. Hey, this is an opportunity for Sheldon Rankins. We were just puffing him up. I was puffing up Cam Jordan earlier in the game. How he's one of the more underrated defensive players overall in the NFL. So he's been a little bit quiet in the second half. We'll see what the Saints can do here, because the Cowboys are in business really for the first time all night here. Got an opportunity here with 7 to take the lead here, as we are almost about halfway through the third quarter, about 8:59 minutes or so to go in the quarter.
Yeah, I think you got to get 7 here, and I've been really impressed with how Prescott looked on that drive. Made a couple of big time throws, just really marched down with tempo down the Saints defense, which had been playing really good in the trenches, but like it was just kind of a matter of time before you get some separation in the secondary. I mean, we know that Lattimore's playing a really good game, holding Cooper in check, but maybe get the tight end involved, maybe. So we're back. There
we go. First and goal from the 2. Hand off to Zeke. He's gonna get about a yard or so, so it's going to be second and goal from the 1 as they jammed it up the middle. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to hand it out to Zeke. I'm going to run it behind Zach Martin, behind Travis Frederick. I'm going to go off left guard, and I'm going to try and pound it in here. You got 3 feet to pay dirt here.
Do it.
I'm going to give it to my best player, and I'm going to trust this offensive line.
Yeah, I would run to the right behind Frederick and Martin. If you get a little bit over towards Collins, that's good. Oh, yeah.
And Zeke gets it, and that's going to be 7.
That is.
So Zeke gets the rushing touchdown. And the Cowboys are going to take a 10-9 lead pending the extra point here. The 11-play, 84-yard scoring drive that took 5:44 off the clock is a great drive, exactly what you want to see if you're a Cowboys fan coming out of the second half. And Dak remains perfect in the third quarter.
He's just perfection.
His contract is it's adding more zeros and more commas.
I mean, what are we going to be paying him? $50 million a year now?
At least. Yeah. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes is going to get like 75 a year, so Dak's going to get like 50. It's going to be a 5-year deal for half a bill.
I think Jerry should be like, we'll pay you this, and on the side, we're going to give you a couple oil derricks out there.
Yeah. You own 1% of Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah. And you get to be at every Tostitos commercial for life.
Could you imagine being a billionaire? How much fun that would be.
I don't even know what I would do. Like
I would settle for being a millionaire. Honestly,
that would be amazing. Millionaire.
I'd be cool with a million, and as I'm sure everybody watching would be cool with a million
too. I would have like steak and caviar and lobster for every single meal.
I would definitely be eating McDonald's less, and if I did, I wouldn't mind. Eating not off of the value menu for a change, but
that's good stuff there, though.
Yeah, I guess
It's got value in there.
You know, the value in the value menu is not the same value it was a couple years ago when things were literally $1. Now it's like $1.69. Like, I don't pay $1.69 for a McChicken. I want a McChicken for $1. Like, come on, I want to get 5 things for $5. I don't want to feel shame 30 minutes after stuffing my face.
We got a question in the chat from Shankers28. Will Dak score 11 more fantasy points? I'm up 11, and he's the only player left.
Oh, man, I don't know, dude.
I don't think you're gonna. I think you're gonna have to watch this entire game. I mean,
yeah. Is it a 6-point passing league or a 4-point passing league? Because if it's 6, there's a chance. Because he could get, a 6-point passing touchdown and then maybe about 50. What would it be, like 50, 60 passing yards?
It's a 4 for touchdowns.
Oh,
so.
Sorry, man, you lost. It's not going to happen. That first half really sunk in. That the one where they had to settle for the field goal, the one off Cobb's fingertips. If that was a touchdown, he's got 4 points, so he needs 7. So there's still be a great chance, but I don't think we're going to get 2+ more touchdowns from the Cowboys at this point, unless there's just some big freakish 80+ yard play for a touchdown. Which, if it happens, I hope it's to Amari Cooper.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It looks like Kamara's got a nice run here.
Yeah.
I will say though, to follow up on that fantasy question, you've got about like 7 minutes and change left of just Dak just being perfect.
Yeah.
So the longer the Saints have the ball, the better chance you have of winning.
Yeah.
Because when he's out there, he's just going to throw 10-yard completion after 10-yard completion.
Yeah, because, as perfect as he's literally perfect in the third quarter. I want to see Mr. Fourth Quarter Dak. And, guy is a great player, but, he's perfect in the third quarter. So, 10-9 Cowboys, they got momentum on their side now. But Alvin Kamara right out for 9 yards in the first play, and the Saints are going to try and respond with a scoring drive of their own here as they are at about the 34. And Kamara stuffed in the backfield.
Going nowhere.
Wow, heck of a play. Leighton Vander Esch.
He got banged
the Wolf
up
Hunter.
The Wolf Hunter. Is
One
that
of
his
the best nicknames of all time?
That's really his nickname?
Yeah.
I learned something today. That's amazing.
I think I learned it last year. I'm like 99% positive that's it. But yeah. Dude's awesome. Plays like 8-man football in high school. Boise State, talking about Kellen Moore earlier, and Lawrence earlier. It's like, man. Football factory.
I want to give somebody credit for that nickname. That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know the genesis of it, but oh man, and almost another play in the backfield there. But it looks like the spot they're going to give him the first down on 3rd and 1.
Yeah,
Latavius Murray just enough.
So speaking of nicknames, I'm trying to give Gardner Minshew a nickname.
Okay.
Too in there, I called him the Prince of Duval. I don't know if that's great, or the mustache from the Palouse.
That's a little. It doesn't roll off the tongue, It's like mustache, Palouse.
Do you call him God? Do you call him Gardner Minshew, or just?
Ooh, the constant gardener.
Gardener.
That's not really like fun. It's just kind of like, hey, that's a movie.
Oh, we got a flea flicker!
And the Cowboys are not about to be beat deep by that. But I want to see a different camera angle there. See if I would assume Ted Ginn was the guy streaking, kind of like Frank the Tank in the Oscar-nominated Old School. But
he was Frank the Tank, and
we know Sean Payton is not afraid to dial up the bag of tricks. But yeah, it looked like that was totally shut down right from the jump. There was nobody.
Why is he scrabbling to the right? There was nobody down. There was nobody downfield. You just had Thomas there that wasn't even good for a first down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so excited there, and then I was just so disappointed there.
Alvin Kamara with a nice 7-yard gain.
Alvin Kamara.
That'll get him to right at midfield.
Right at midfield.
So about 5 minutes in running here in the third quarter. 1-point game. It hasn't been full of a lot of offensive explosions, but a close game nonetheless here, and it's shaping up to be a game that's decided late in the fourth quarter. So sit back, relax, and strap it down here for what promises to be a thrilling Sunday night finale here.
This one's going to go down to the wire. I can feel it. All right. Bridgewater out of the gun.
Drops back, looks right. Finds his tight end there. Looks like that's Jared Cook.
close to a first down. I think he might have been just a tad bit short there.
Yeah, that's going to be like a 9.5-yard gain. Yeah, 9 yards in the length of a football, to be exact. But the Saints moving the ball a little bit here, responding well. We saw Sean Payton go to his bag of tricks there with the flea flicker. Didn't get the big play that they would hope, but now they're going to go jumbo package here with an offensive lineman reporting as eligible.
Jumbo.
Latavius Murray, the deep eye back, good 7 yards deep, takes the rock, and he's going to try and pound his way for about 2 yards.
And he runs into the Wolf Hunter.
Yeah, met right away. Man, I just love players that wear the cowboy collar or like the neck like guard, you know? And like one of the things I've been wanting to do for a while was like just kind of like an ode to the cowboy collar, like with college football players. Like we see it a lot more prevalent in college football, and like you look some of the old school players that would wear them, like Andy Katzenmoyer in the mid '90s when I was growing up,
Like,
and then
Brian Cox.
Oh yeah, I mean just absolutely love it. Here is Kamara back in the game, gets a nice carry and run. Just shedding tacklers will not go down.
Looks like Awuzie that was
Wow.
there for one, but good couple of runs there for
Guys
for
just
Kamara,
bouncing
yeah.
off of him, looking like Deuce McAllister back in the day,
Just,
but about 70 pounds lighter.
just running into Pete, shedding the
Shakes
Wolf
the
Hunter.
Wolf Hunter.
I feel like everybody that has like one of those
Good blocking by the
has one of those
line.
cowboy collars. I feel like you're just like you're playing in the Big Ten West.
Yeah, right. It's like a classic
Iowa-
Wisconsin-Iowa showdown.
It's like if you play and play for like the Paul Bunyan. I think Paul Bunyan
Yeah,
acts between Iowa,
Wisconsin,
and
Minnesota.
Minnesota. You all have to wear
I think
that.
that's one. Or is that the Floyd of Rosedale pig? It feels like Wisconsin has like a crazy rivalry trophy for every game, but yeah, maybe the axe is. I want to say that. It doesn't matter.
I think the NFL needs rivalry trophies.
Yeah,
Like,
like
just-
like the Bears Packers should have one, like Redskins, Cowboys.
Falcons, Saints.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, why not?
Like
Spice things up a little
Bengals,
bit.
Brown. They have the thing is like it's within your division.
It's like a
so
golden toilet.
You have to exchange it twice a year.
That'd be great. You just like there's a ceremony at the end of the game, like at midfield, like the captains, like between the quarterbacks and the coaches or something like that. Like, here's your golden toilet. The Browns beat the Bengals.
Or here's the Jets Patriots. Here's the broken camcorder.
Yeah, right. Try spying on us now, Belichick, because there's another reception by Jared Cook. Gonna be about a yard shy of the first down, but the Saints are at about the 15 or 16, faced with the 3rd and 1. And if I know Sean Payton, I think he's thinking if they don't get it here, they're going to go for it on 4th down here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a little bit of a shot into the end zone here, or try and get a little creative here.
I wonder, like when with Breeze on the sidelines, do they say, "Hey, Drew, what should we do here?" Just basically just have him be the offensive play caller.
Yeah, right. And just going to sneak it with Bridgewater, and he's got it. So
there we go. So you're
probably at the 18 or 19, a new set of downs. That clock's trickling down in the final minute here of the 3rd quarter. Let's see, they'll definitely get one more playoff here in this quarter. Oh, yeah, that was – I mean, if you're going to give it to him, just, I wonder if that was the design call or if he just audible to that, because, I mean, the middle was open. So you get 2 yards. Smart headsy play if that was a check.
It was wide open, and I feel like if you're like 4th and short, like if you go with the QB sneak, you have the snap count, like you're going to convert that 90% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely here. 1st and 10 from the 16. Bridgewater back to pass, looking left to Josh Hill, who kept bringing the catch off his hands.
He sailed that one a little bit.
Gosh, would have been a 1st down at about the 3 or 4 yard line.
He knows he messed up.
Yep.
You done messed up there, Teddy. 2 gloves.
Did he need to leave his feet here? Maybe. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I wouldn't say that was a tough catch. Could it have been a better throw by Bridgewater? Yeah, a little bit. It was maybe a little bit high, but it felt like he jumped and then like he short-armed it too. He didn't need to give the full Carl Lewis
That's one of the
vertical on
things
that one.
about when you do play action, like from under center like that, you have to turn your back to the defense, so your time to react, like your accuracy goes down for that reason.
Nice little jet sweep to Ted Ginn, snuffed out right away, but we got a flag. And let's see what that is. If it's on the offense, that could be the final play of the third quarter.
Snippix, goes, who do y'all think is going to win this game? I can't tell right now.
I think I'd probably go with the Saints just because they're moving right here. And if they get 7, if they get a touchdown, maybe they try and go for a 2-point conversion. But, if they get a touchdown here, they'll have an early lead in the fourth quarter. But, yeah, this is, neither team has really been great. I'd say maybe the Saints have played a little bit better so far, but they're the ones trailing.
Yeah.
So was that last drive by the Cowboys the one where they're like, hey, we figured it out. We know where to exploit the Saints defense. We got Zeke fed a little bit here. We hit the big play to Blake Jarwin over the middle or down the seam for a big strike. Biggest play of the game, I think, for either side. And really the Saints offense, Michael Thomas said, 5 catches for 60 yards in the first half. We're still waiting for him to have a big explosive play. Alvin Kamara, still waiting for that patented Alvin Kamara play. So, if the Saints get a touchdown on this drive, I'd say them. But if it's a field goal, I might flip back and say the Cowboys. So that's my best non-committal answer where I say both teams and neither.
Both teams and neither. That's the right response.
Way to hedge, right?
I would say, all things equal, I would go with the Saints because it is at home, and I trust Will Lutz to be able to make a longer field goal, under a high-pressure situation. I've liked a little bit more the speed of the running game of Kamara. He's starting to come alive a little bit, whereas Zeke, while he has that touchdown, it's always been 3 yards and a bunch of pellets in your face.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Dak, perfect Dak is over.
Yeah. Right?
Because we are now entering the fourth quarter here.
All that said, the Cowboys should win this game. They have the better defense on paper. They have their quarterback, a great quarterback playing at a Pro Bowl level. Maybe the best quarterback in the NFC so far this year. They have a great ground game. They're just on the road, and the Saints are driving it down their throats right now. So, if the Saints can get 7. I mean, this is huge. I mean, as we enter the fourth quarter, as we throw our 4 digits up, and hey, this is a great time here as we're at the commercial break. If you like all sorts of great NFL commentary from the FanSided team, Stacking the Box, the podcast, check it out on Apple, Stitcher, iTunes, all that good stuff. Host Matt Verderam, you saw him in the first quarter with me, and Josh Hill, you saw him in the pregame show. They're joined every Monday, and I think they do a second show every week. Featuring Jeff Schwartz, the former NFL lineman. And they're going to have Nate Burleson on this week. So, host of Good Morning Football. He's the CBS pre, post, and halftime show, one of their analysts, one of the better guys in NFL media. So, I'm really looking forward to that show. So, be sure to subscribe to that podcast, give a nice, friendly rating, and review that. And be sure to listen every Monday. And, just subscribe, and it'll be, wherever there
it'll get in your feed. Whenever. You'll learn something every week.
Yeah, listen on your commute into work or on your way home, and just listen, get a little bit smarter, and see if you can get a little bit more analysis into your NFL podcast heavy discussion here. As we got Taysom Hill in the ballgame at quarterback for the Saints on 2nd and 5. Fakes the handoff. He's going to run out to the left, and he's going to lose about a yard or 2. So the Cowboys defense are ready for that one. Sean Payton just felt like he wanted to use Taysom Hill, and he's like, all right, we're going to force him in here now. I don't know if that was exactly the best time to use him, but the Cowboys were certainly ready for that. And just too much speed on that Cowboys defense.
Yeah, he couldn't get an edge there. I feel like Sean Payton's like a kid's like, can we please use Taysom Hill?
I know, right?
I need to use him.
Yeah. But great pursuit by the Cowboys defense here. And now it's 3rd and 7. And now you got to make a play here. Now you got to pick up a first down here as Bridgewater drops back to pass. He's going to run for it. And he's going to give himself up as we await a flag on this one here. And maybe now is a good time to make a line change. Am I in or out? I think you're in and I'm out.
I think that might be the case.
So I'm going to take my laptop. I'm going to get out of here. And Josh Hill is going to come back. And good luck to the Cowboys and Saints and everyone betting on this game and anybody with fantasy football relevancy. All right, I'll see you guys.
All right. See you, Schmidt. And I am joined by FanSided editorial director Josh Hill.
Yes.
What is up?
Damn right. I was just going to stand in the corner and see how long you would do this by yourself.
Thanks for joining me.
I was really going to leave you out on a lark.
You're just gonna stare at
I'm just
me.
going to mess around with this now and get our comments up.
Get our comments up. We got some good stuff. We're wondering if looks like Bridgewater fumbled the ball.
That he did, Bueller. He fumbled. No, he didn't.
No,
He's
he
down.
didn't.
He's down.
He's down.
Also, if I'm Teddy Bridgewater, remember when he took that shot from, who is it, Mark Barron?
Oh,
When he was
yeah.
with the Vikings? If I'm Teddy Bridgewater, I'm not having fond memories of going down for a knee.
No. Will Lutz is going to be out here to attempt his 4th field goal of the day. This is a chip shot, 26-yarder. He's been right down the middle every single time, and he's been all the points for the Saints thus far.
It's at this time that I would like to gather us all, Bueller, and say a prayer for our colleague Josh Wilson, who is a Saints fan and has to watch this dumpster fire of a game.
I mean, his dad did the right move and went to sleep.
Apparently, yeah, his dad is going to go to sleep. And I don't know if there's any Saints fans out there that fell asleep and don't want any part of this. But, okay, so I'm a Bucs fan. You're a Falcons fan.
Yes.
What is your assessment here of our shared NFC South foe in the New Orleans Saints?
I think thus far in this game, the defensive line for the Saints has played very well. They've done a very good job of containing Ezekiel Elliott. They're starting to get a little bit more exposed in the secondary with the passing game, but it has not looked like Teddy Bridgewater's been comfortable all evening.
No.
I do think that they're starting to use Alvin Kamara, and they tried using Taysom Hill there to kind of offset, some of the skittishness from Bridgewater. I kind of feel like if Breeze was out there, the Saints would be winning by a considerable margin. But
It's a completely different game if Breeze is out there, but that's the point. Like, Breeze isn't out there.
he's on the sidelines, and he's smiling and stuff.
That was amazing commentary, Bueller.
That's what I'm here for, I guess.
He's on the sideline. That's the A+ commentary.
That's
that
what
I
I'm
love
here
you
for.
bringing.
I can bring things.
That's true. But I feel like, okay, so the Saints, the Bucs get a win today. They win 55-40 in LA. The Falcons are on life support, and I think that's being kind.
That is being kind. It's bad news.
So, and then the Panthers win, but Kyle Allen is their quarterback, and we still don't really know what's going on there. And also they beat Bill O and the Texans. So that's not necessarily something that I would be particularly proud of. I feel like this is still the Saints' division to win.
It is. I will admit that it's like they're able to hold serve with arguably the best team in the NFC right now in the Cowboys, and they're leading.
Are the
right
Cowboys the best team in the NFC? In your opinion?
I felt that way entering week 4. That may change. I may need to go back and reevaluate a little bit, but they play a really strong brand of football. Plus, playing in New Orleans is not easy.
It's not, although they did win there last year when everybody was very high on the Saints, and they came in and kind of shocked a lot of people. So, Saints, Cowboys, 2 of the best teams in the NFC. Would you say that they are the 2 best teams in the NFC? Or would you maybe slide somebody above the Saints?
I like the Packers a little bit more than the Saints right now. I know that they lost to the Eagles, but that was kind of like you got to have it from the Eagles sort of game.
It really was.
I think Green Bay will adjust. The offense isn't quite there yet. I think they'll get there with Matt LaFleur, who you are the biggest supporter of Matt LaFleur.
I have a lot of Matt LaFleur stock, yes.
And then I think around the I think the Rams are kind of in that conversation too, but I think the Saints are kind of right in that mix of like the top 3 to 5 teams in the conference.
The thing about the Saints is that there are few teams in the NFL that can adjust on the fly as well as New Orleans can.
Right.
We saw that 2 years ago when they started 0-2 and they tear off an 8-game winning streak. We saw that last year when Fitzmagic comes down to the Bayou and just breaks hearts, and then they rip off of an 8-game winning streak. And both of those seasons, they lose their first game of the year, and they enter the playoffs at the end of the year as proverbial Super Bowl favorites.
Right.
That is a team that can adjust week to week. And when is the one time of year that you need to be able to adjust week to week?
You need to be able to adjust, once the weather turns, once you get into December, and then really once you get into the postseason.
January. That is when you need to adjust week to week. And the Saints do that.
Football changes after Thanksgiving, and the Saints do a great job of playing down the stretch.
It really does. And to the we have, 12:58 left to go in this game?
Yeah, 2nd and 6, Dak.
People are watching. They don't care about the play-by-play. They want our commentary,
They want our
man.
commentary, I guess.
So if the Chiefs had lost today in Detroit, do you then sit here and say, well, they're not Super Bowl favorites anymore? Or do you say, even the Patriots lose?
Everybody loses about 3 games a year.
Yeah.
Everybody loses about 3 games a year. Although, I will say with the Chiefs, I thought they were going to win 45-10, or excuse me, I'm not Matt Verderam.
Yeah, 44-28 was the official prediction, and let me tell you, that did not happen.
But
yeah, you lose games.
Yeah.
Tom Brady threw an interception today. Even he screws up at work. Like, this idea that the Chiefs losing or the Saints losing Drew Brees for a certain period of time in the season somehow drastically affects things when you don't look at what the system is that is being affected. The Chiefs, they are a good team, which is an understatement, but they've never had to come back. They've never had to play from behind in the fourth quarter, and they did today, and they learned things. Mm-hmm. The Saints, over the last 2 years, they've had things go wrong, and they've adjusted. Sean Payton is still there. Drew Brees is not out for the season. This is a team that is complete. Like Todd Morstead, all the way down to the punter. Like, this is a team that knows what it's doing. So I have faith that I would say that the Saints are the second or third best team in the NFC, even with Teddy Bridgewater, just because of all of that working for them.
I think the big thing here is these first 2 games without Brees, with the Seahawks last week and then now with the Cowboys, you know, you would have been lucky just to win 1, and now you have a chance. Like, you won in Seattle amongst the 12s, which is incredible.
That was insane.
And now you got a 2-point lead right now at home against Dallas in primetime. You win these 2 games, you're still in first place in the division by a game over Carolina and Tampa. And, you know, it's 1 week closer to getting Brees back. You got to feel good. Timeline shortens.
It was like that year that Brady got suspended for the first 4 games.
Yeah.
And you went through Garoppolo and Brissett. And it was the first 4 games. And you're like, look, all you need to do is go 3-1. Even if they went 2-2, you're getting Tom Brady back with a 2-2 record. Same thing with the Saints. They're treading water, and they're showing that they are a complete team and that they are one of the best teams in the NFC, because if you take Brees out, this should not work. And it's still, they went into Seattle and won. They're beating the Cowboys on national television in prime time. It shouldn't happen, but it is.
It's what I guess this game is showing is that Bridgewater is not really a starting quarterback really anymore, like, or what he was coming out of Louisville his first couple of years with Minnesota. He's serviceable, but like,
well, I mean, his leg exploding kind of.
Well, yeah, he's walking out there. That's awesome. But you know, this is one of those games where, you know, if Dak wants to get paid $60 million a year,
yes,
he's got to find a way to win. It's like,
excellent point.
You move to 4-0. You know, you would be you have a 2-game lead over, you know, your two of your division rivals, plus with these sort of tiebreakers and stuff there. You know, you want to finish the first quarter of the season on a great note. It's like, hey, we accomplished everything we wanted to, and now you're out here not taking care of business.
That they are not. It is 12-10. We have 11:30 left to go here in the game. The Cowboys are punting, giving the ball back to the Saints. So you don't think Teddy Bridgewater is going to come off of this 1-year contract, because he's on a 1-year, $7.5 million contract with the Saints? You don't think he's going to come off of this and get a starting job somewhere?
You're going to put him in Miami? Like,
I don't think they put him in Miami, but you
don't
think anywhere?
You think he's going to go to the Bengals? Like, I don't. I mean, like, he's in the perfect spot where he's for an offensive-minded head coach in Sean Payton. He's playing in a southern climate, which is not going to negatively affect, like, his league average arm. You know, you're playing in a division that has a lot of volatility. Like, you don't really necessarily know what you're going to get out of the Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, or Panthers every week.
I think you know what you're going to get. You're going to get sadness.
Well, you're going to get sadness.
We can attest to that.
Yeah. Speaking of sadness, looking ahead to next week, it is happening. The Falcons will play at Houston.
Ooh, Dan Quinn, Bill O'Brien special.
That is going to be a whole lot of no hair and a lot of bad coaching.
That is going to be. Is it possible for them both to lose? Like, not even tie, just they both lose.
What if like both get fired after this game? Like, they tie.
The winner gets fired.
They tie Arthur Blake, and then the McNair day come down. It's like this took football back 15 years.
It's going to set football back quite a while. So Teddy Bridgewater's not a starter next year in your eyes? Anywhere? I would have said Jacksonville until Gardner Minshew
No, you're not
was
going to.
dropped down from the football heavens,
He emerged from the Palouse or the Bayous of Mississippi.
in which Leonard Fournette calls him the Jockstrap King. So
Maybe that's his nickname. Schmidt and I were looking for a nickname for him. I think
It's the
that's
Jockstrap
the
King.
Jockstrap King.
Minshew Magic is a little more PC. It's a little more,
But I don't think
That's the
I don't-
TV.
I don't-
That's
I
the
don't-
TV edit version of Jockstrap King. But
But I mean, I don't know if he's necessary. He does seem to be a very respectable man. But like
you don't think he's a starter either?
Minshew.
Minshew, you don't think that the Jaguars stick with him?
Oh, I think he absolutely is. Like he goes out there, he's tough. He's throwing the ball. He likes to use the running game. I'm kind of surprised at how well that he's like adapted to that because at Washington State with the air raid, it's just throw. I think he may have Wally pipped Nick Foles.
I like it.
Nick Foles, he'll start somewhere else next year. Or for
I
Jacksonville.
don't know about that.
I don't know. Maybe
I think he got paid. The man can cash out now. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's a Super Bowl MVP.
he's got a statue.
He completed his narrative from the first time he was in Philly. I think if Nick Foles called it a career right now, I think we're good. But you never know.
I mean, Saint Nick.
He
He is. I still can't believe the Broncos found a way to lose that game.
You can't believe that? How do you feel? How do you think Broncos fans feel right now?
I mean,
There was a report that Broncos players were crying in the locker room, tears of frustration. And you can kind of sympathize with that.
I mean, last week, Emmanuel Sanders says we are living in a world of suck.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
We all watched that game. And as we have 11:21 left to go in this game.
Saints got the ball. Kamara runs. There's a penalty flag, probably a hold. Look a little frustrated there.
The Broncos lose to Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears.
Yeah.
And then they lose in very similar fashion to Gardner Minshew and the Jaguars.
Both at home, both in September.
Both devastatingly terrible losses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are back-breaking losses. And it's making me think that I don't think that the Broncos' defense is even that good. And that's like their saving grace is their defense. Because you got Von Miller and you've got Bradley Chubb.
They had trouble getting after the passer the first couple weeks in the season. They did get to Minshew a little bit today.
Not enough.
But you're looking at the Broncos' next 5, 6. Wins are going to be hard to come by for them because they got at the Chargers, Titans, Chiefs, at Colts, Browns, at Vikings. And those are all going to be pretty physical teams.
Those are going to be extremely physical games.
What if they're the last team to win a game this year?
I wouldn't be shocked if the Broncos are in the conversation for the number 1 overall pick.
I mean, as soon as I said like the last team to win a game, like, oh yeah, they play in the same league as the Dolphins.
Well, they do, but I mean, it's incredibly hard to go.
Do they
0-16.
play the Dolphins?
They don't play the Dolphins.
They do not play the Dolphins.
The
Bengals play the Dolphins. Someone's going to win that. And they're going to be on Monday Night Football tomorrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's incredibly hard to go 0-16 in the league, and I know that the Lions. It's happened twice in the last 15 years of football,
Right.
but it is incredibly hard to do. You need to be very, very bad for that to happen. I don't think that the Broncos are that bad, and I don't even think that the Dolphins are that bad. Because even if you are terrible enough to lose every single game, at least one game every year you accidentally win. That could be the Bengals game.
I mean, yeah.
And the Dolphins do play the Jets. So who's to say, Mono doesn't get around again that week in the locker room, and all of a sudden we're talking about the Jets differently.
It is contagious.
A hand, foot, and mouth disease. Maybe they go hang out with Noah Syndergaard a little bit too.
Mets fans are Jets fans.
Mets fans and Jets fans as Michael Thomas decides to wake up. It's still 12:10. We have a flag. We're under 10 minutes to go in this game. Who needs to win this game more? Who is this more important to? We kind of touched on it with talking about the Saints treading water with Drew Brees. But what about the Cowboys? Because I still don't believe that they're the best team in the NFC.
I think entering this game, I was like, yes, you both want to win it, but I think both could afford to take an L here. But the more you've said it, the more I think the Cowboys need a signature win to prove that they're atop or near the top of the NFC.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I said with the Saints, They won last week in a game they shouldn't have won in Seattle. So they really just needed to split one of those two. So I would say Dallas needs to win this game. I mean, they were laying 3 points on the road. They're down by 2. We're inside of 10 minutes left.
What's their schedule look like?
Dallas' schedule going forward, okay. So next week you've got the Packers. That's going to be tough. You're at the Jets. You're going to win that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the Eagles.
Packers game is in Dallas.
The Packers game is in Dallas.
That could be a signature win.
Yeah, that's probably America's game of the week next week.
That's huge. Oh yeah, Packers Cowboys, and then they're both good.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably both the best 2 teams in the NFC.
Yeah,
That's easily the game of the week.
yeah. I was saying that I feel like those were the 2 best teams in my eyes entering this week. I think the Saints are kind of in that next tier, right about there.
Oh yeah,
You know, after the Packers, you've got the Jets. You'll win that.
Yeah, that's
even
a
on the
win.
road. And then you got the Eagles at home on Saturday Night Football. That game is going to be.
That's going to be a tough one.
And then you're at the Giants. It's certainly much more navigable, just because I do feel that the Cowboys are the best team in their division. That's 6 of. Okay, that's 3/8 of your schedule. Doing math there.
Yeah,
That is amazing that I'm doing math right now.
that is amazing.
And there is Bridgewater.
Yeah,
And
a whole
he
lot
just-
of nothing happened with Bridgewater. What's the Saints' upcoming schedule? Because I know they get the Bucks next week.
You get the Bucs next week. How do you feel about that?
I feel unwell about that.
Their schedule, from what I remember writing something a couple weeks ago, it's pretty navigable. So you've got the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
You're going down to Duval. That's
Those are 2
interesting.
wins. You could get 2 wins there.
You could win down to Duval. You're at the Bears.
That one's tough because it's getting cold. That's at the end of October, middle of October.
October 20th.
Okay, that could be a tough
You
one.
get the Cardinals at home.
That's a win.
And then then after that, once Drew Brees gets back, you've got Falcons at
Win.
Bucks, Panthers,
Win.
at
Win.
Falcons. It's just
Win. What else? What's the rest of that schedule?
so okay. Falcons at Bucks, Panthers
All
at
wins.
Falcons,
Win.
49ers, Colts,
Win.
at Titans, at Panthers to
Win.
close out.
Win. So I mean, the Saints. This is an
The
extremely
Saints are going
winnable.
15-1.
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
This is an extremely winnable stretch. I mean, the rest of their schedule. Let's say they lose to the Bears, and maybe they'll split one of those games with the Bucks, and I'd say the Falcons because they always kind of play each other well.
I felt they were kind of like a 10-6. Some of that like 10-6, 11-5 sort of team.
I'm going 13-3 is very reasonable. That's a very realistic outcome for the Saints.
I mean, if you win,
Especially when Drew Brees
win
gets
today,
back.
if you win today, certainly. Cause
Oh yeah, if this holds up, yes.
yeah. I mean that's in play. If you don't, then you're looking probably about 12-4. But at that point, you're probably
Even
looking
12-4 is
At 12-4,
fantastic.
you're looking at a first round bye anyway.
And to do that all with having Drew Brees missed a significant portion of the season, that's an incredible feat. What's the pull up the Cowboys again? Let's do this for the Cowboys.
The Cowboys, okay. Cowboys schedule. Okay, like you're you're hosting the Packers next week.
Let's say that's the signature win you're talking about, so we
Okay.
get a win.
At the Jets win.
Win.
Host Eagles prime time.
I'll give it to the Eagles. Let's say that's a loss.
Okay, at Giants win.
Win.
Vikings prime time.
Win.
At Lions,
Win.
I don't know. They look kind of feisty. At Patriots loss.
Well, that's a loss.
Home versus Bills.
Home versus Bills. Okay, that's a win. If it was in Buffalo, I would say Bills.
At Bears, December 5th. They're into the years.
That one is tough
They're-
because of the
they're-
defense.
Their final 4 games are pretty tough. It's at Bears, home versus the Rams, at the Eagles, and then you get like a cakewalk against the Redskins.
So I got 4 or 5 losses out of that.
So you're looking at about like,
11-5 is a comfortable number for me.
is that good enough to win the NFC East?
I think it is because the Eagles are already playing catch up.
Is that good enough to get you a first round bye in the NFC?
I don't think so.
Is that top 3?
I don't think so.
Is that top 3 in the NFC?
It's top 3 in the NFC for sure. The question is that Packers game.
Yeah, that's
What does that end up being a tiebreaker at the end of the year?
that's why this game is so important here, because this is a tiebreaker here, because like you kind of expect both of these teams to win their respective divisions at this point.
And I mean, they're showing the standings here. I forgot that Carolina was 2-2 because I forget a lot of things about the Panthers.
You know, it's just when you don't have Cam dressing up like a plague doctor.
I love Cam's post game outfits.
You know, he's
They're
got his
fantastic.
flower pot hair.
I love it. I love everything about Cam's aesthetic.
I thought you said okay. You said aesthetic. Okay, I can agree with that. I thought you said I love everything about Cam. Like I could not agree.
Well, no,
I could not disagree more.
As Teddy Bridgewater just got ended.
You can't take that sack.
That is a blindside sack on third down.
That was 3rd and 6. Quinn was all
Robert
over.
Quinn.
Robert Quinn.
Wow,
the
former
mighty
Dolphins great.
The mighty Quinn. That one really good year with the Rams. Robert Quinn.
Former Rams great. All right, so the Cowboys, they're getting the ball back. 12-10. We're coming up on under 7 minutes left to go in this game. Bueller, I want your prediction. I'm etching it in stone. What's going to happen for the remainder of this 7 minutes? And by God, do not be wrong.
I was close to right last time.
I don't know, man. You're saying this on the internet, and if you're wrong on the internet, that's just a bad spot.
If I'm wrong on the internet...
Oh, whoa. We almost had a interesting situation here.
I think...
6:51. It is 12-10. Cowboys getting the ball back.
I think the Cowboys are going to go down, and they are going to score a touchdown on this drive. It's going to be a Dak Prescott touchdown pass to Blake Jarwin.
Oh, wow. We're really going Nostra Bueller here.
I'm totally cool with being wrong.
This is good. No,
I'm
go for it.
I'm attempting to feel it, man. So they will go up 17-12. And then the Saints are going to go down. And it's going to be just poor clock management. They're going to be like inside like the 20. And then it's going to be Taysom Hill.
The Taysom Hill show.
And he's going to run it in for like 15 yards.
I dislike everything about what you're saying right now.
I do too. And they're going to win 19-17. And then they're going to build a statue of Taysom Hill yesterday in the middle of Canal Street.
I love it. You also did more math. This is a big night for you.
You know, we can do math here.
We should just start writing it on the window like a beautiful mind.
Just start doing like Pythagorean theorem. Just draw pi. Start counting out digits of pi.
I dislike that.
You know, I could write a sign out there. Hey, Edgar, what's up?
We got any more things in the chat?
Any more things in the chat?
My chat's not working, so I'm just playing with the screen.
We got a little bit of battery left here. It says, we need Drew Brees. It says, who y'all think is going to win?
Well, we kind of just went over that. But I do think that the Saints are going to win. You established that you think that the Cowboys are going to win.
The Cowboys are going to win. The Saints are going to win. Someone's going to win, unless we get a tie. I think I don't want a tie. I think with like a 2-point discrepancy here.
We don't need to try.
Bad prediction. Saints going for 2 if they score.
Is that Ron Burt?
That is Ron Burt.
Ron Burt,
welcome back.
Welcome to the chat. Ron Burt, straight from the jump, said that I was out celebrating the Bucs win. He was not wrong. So, and yeah, the Saints need Drew Brees. That's been established. They're not going to do anything with Teddy Bridgewater. It's just a matter of how long can they tread water with him. And we're seeing this being tested right now because that was not a good way to end that last drive that the Saints had. And now we're going to see if this defense, Saints defense is kind of underrated.
Yeah, I mean,
they've got some studs on that side of the ball.
The trenches, you've got Cam Jordan, got Sheldon Rankins, Marcus Davenport. You got some dudes over there. You got some blue chip first grade just talent, first round talent. They're not first grade talent, first round talent.
First grade talent.
I could do first grade math up here. Maybe not articulate it to the best of my abilities. Let's just see. I'm just thinking that like this one's gonna come down to the last play of the game.
I hope so. I hope we're in for another good Sunday night finish here, but we will see. We'll also see what Dak Prescott's made of. In the narrative, at what point does the bubble burst on he needs to get paid? Because I'm sick of hearing it, and I'm not sick of hearing it in that I don't think he should get paid. I'm just like, we get it. Like, we're beating the dead horse here.
Maybe they just don't pay him. Maybe they just give him the Joe Madden treatment.
Yeah, the Joe Madden treatment. What a travesty that is.
He's going to go to the Padres and turn them into they're going to win 98 games next year.
Him and Tatis and Machado. By the way, I'm never going to be unsurprised by how young Kellen Moore looks.
He looks like it's me out there.
He makes us look old.
I know. He's like what, maybe 32 if that. He's out there with his cherubic face calling plays, trying to lead his team to victory.
All right, so you kind of 3-eye ravened it here a couple minutes ago where your eyes rolled into the back of your head and you went Nostra Bueller on me and predicted the end of this game. I want you to do it again and look into the future. Where's Kellen Moore, the head coach, in 3 years when he gets hired somewhere?
In 3 years, so he'll be eligible to run for president. So I think he's gonna go to the White House.
He's gonna go to the White House.
No, I'm kidding. So who sucks? Who's gonna suck in 3 years? Like, I'll tell you what.
Houston. Oh, Dak just almost threw a brutal game-ending pick.
You know what? Houston, because
Houston's a good one.
They're gonna keep Bill O'Brien until then. Cleveland's not a bad fit either, because Freddie Kitchens. Who knows how that's gonna go?
Maybe. Yeah, that's not bad.
Maybe. What if Mike Zimmer retires?
Or retires. What if he gets fired? I think the Vikings are far more likely to fire him than him walking away.
How do you think he's gonna handle that? He's just gonna be like, no.
He's gonna rip off his eye patch. And he's gonna go nuts.
His eye patch. Could he coach the rest of the year with an eye patch on?
I mean, he did. The cycloptic genius of Mike Zimmer.
Yeah. So Nostradamus Bueller was wrong because the Cowboys are punting here.
Yeah, the Cowboys punted, so you're already wrong. So, but I don't think you're going to be wrong about Kellen Moore. I like Houston. That's a good one. We don't know what Freddie Kitchens is going to be in Cleveland, so that's also another good one.
I think what you have to kind of look at is who just hired a head coach or has had recent success with a head coach, because you're looking at about 2 or 3 year cycle. Like,
if you're looking at teams that recently hired head coaches who are going to be looking to develop their quarterbacks, the Jets and the Dolphins, because the Jets are going to be in, what would that be, year 5 of Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
And he's probably not going to become anything under Adam Gase, at least from what we've seen. So they're going to be like panic mode. We need somebody to come in here and be the guru for Sam Darnold. And the Dolphins are going to be in that spot because it'll be a perfect, in 3 years, that'll be right when they're trying to put all of these rebuilding pieces together. They've opened the war chest. They've gone in there, used those picks.
So by that time,
they've got Tua or somebody, or Fromm or Herbert's, one of those guys. And they're going to need the head coach to develop them.
How many wins do you think Brian Flores has by 2021?
Poor Brian Flores, who's the sacrificial lamb in Miami. That's tough. I feel bad for him. Everybody's going to be killing him because he's probably going to be the head coach of an 0-16 team.
I don't feel bad for him because, one, he's in Miami. There's no in-state tax.
Well,
and then he'll just go back to New England and get another opportunity unless he decides to back out of it in the last possible second, like Josh McDaniels.
I don't know. McDaniels is an interesting anomaly in the guys that Belichick lets back in to the family. Once you're out, you're out.
Like Eric
Mangini never came back. Cornell never came back.
He's been exiled for like 15 years.
Weiss, none of these. Charlie Weiss never came back. Like, these guys, once they're gone, they're gone. Patricia's excommunicated. Like, this is. You don't leave Belichick and then come back unless you're McDaniels, and he's like the weird like Darth Vader to the Emperor thing. So I don't think Flores is coming back, and I feel very bad for him because look, I would take a head coaching job if somebody was like, "Hey, you want to be a head coach in the NFL?" I'd be like, well, "Hell yeah, I want to be a head coach in the NFL." Unfortunately, he's in this situation in Miami where he's the sacrificial lamb,
right?
And I don't think anything's. It's almost. He's in a sweet spot where nothing that's going wrong is particularly his fault because it's the top down. Like, the tank is on.
What if
it's institutional?
What if he gets to ride this out, Brett Brown style?
I hope he does. I really hope he does.
If not, then he'll come out of like Miami with like, congratulations, you are in the Hugh Jackson, Gus Bradley club of having a 200 career winning percentage.
Don't do that to him.
I want him to win every game that he's doing. Fins up. I want you to find your next Dan Marino.
Fins up. They just flashed a graphic on the NBC broadcast of how high-powered this Cowboys offense has been for the first 3 weeks of the season.
Well, it's not high-powered today.
They got 10 points.
10 points.
Let's take a moment to talk about how great the Saints' defense is.
Well, it has
underrated.
Underrated for sure. A lot of Ohio State guys in the secondary. Those guys, are kind of high profile, like Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple. But I think you'd be getting really good play, like in your front seven. Like I mentioned, the defensive lineman for a while, and I think AJ Klein's been a pretty good player for them, linebacker.
Forced that fumble earlier on.
I haven't really seen
Witten.
that. I think Trey Hendrickson, maybe he's hurt. I think they kind of liked him a lot out of the draft. And looks like 2nd and 3. Kamara's going to be short, so it'll be 3rd and 1. They're going to try to grind down the clock. I'm just kind of expecting a dumb penalty to go against the Saints here. and they're gonna complain about it and boo their officials here.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
New Orleans.
It's on brand.
So you never know. 3rd and 1. We'll see if the Saints can convert here and get the first down. Keep chipping away at this clock, which is now under 4.5 minutes left to go. Bueller, I need an answer on this defense. You told me that you're giving me a lot of names. Where would you rank it? Because everybody's all hot and bothered about the Packers defense, about how this is the best Packers defense that Aaron Rodgers has ever had. And they went out and they laid a dud and lost the game for him on Thursday night. Where, if you're playing fantasy football and you want to take a defense, where are you taking the Saints against all these other defenses? The Bears, obviously, best defense in football, can we say?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say they're Patriots.
Patriots by default because they haven't played like a lot of great teams. But where do the Saints go when we're talking Bears, we're talking Patriots? Where are they?
I feel like they're in that 8 to 12 range right now. I think
8 to 12, okay.
So I'm just thinking like that's for as good, but like their offense outside of today is usually like top 10.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that you're good enough at both to where you can win a championship, and that's really all that matters.
That's exactly what matters.
Because like there's other teams that have like really great defenses whose offenses are just trash, and then there's offenses that are really good that struggle on defense. Kansas City Chiefs.
That's very true. We got a lot of Chiefs fans that work here too, so.
I mean, we're not part of the. You and I aren't part of the Kansas City Mafia.
Unfortunately, not, because
No.
it seems like a very happy place to be right now.
Happy place to be. A lot of barbecue. You know, where I'm over here getting lemon pepper wings in my eyes. It's kind of the experience it is right here.
Did you have lemon pepper wings today?
If it would have helped, I would have done it. that is.
You know you've had a good day when you don't even remember if you had the lemon pepper wings. You're like, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess maybe I did.
Why not?
2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game. Counting down. Saints still have the ball. They're running it. It's 3rd down. They're probably going to get another first down here and continue to roll.
Cowboys do have all 3 timeouts, so New Orleans is going to have to convert probably a first down after
Where are we
this.
on the field here? Are we in field goal range?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Because right now the Saints, I would take a field goal if I was the Saints. Depending, I mean, okay, so we're at what, the 34? Is that? I mean, Kamara got the first down, so it's a moot point. But let's say they get into a 4th down situation here. So we're at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to go. It's Saints 12, the Cowboys 10.
I feel like you're in Will Lutz range.
Oh, you're absolutely in Will Lutz's range. I think the question is, would you want to go for the touchdown? Because if you get the touchdown, that's blouses.
You want blouses here. You want to give Alvin Kamara to just sprint to pay dirt, and then just run around and just throw arrowheads to everybody in the stands.
So are you running the ball on the other side of this 2-minute warning, or are you going to throw at least once?
You might throw maybe once, but I would expect just considerably more runs because like the clock is on your side. And I think if you feel confident that you can pick up, 4 yards per carry, then you're going to win the ball game. If you can't, then you're going to have to settle for a field goal.
Yeah. Saints are in a real sweet spot here because they can waste all of the Cowboys' timeouts.
Yes.
Get that field goal, and you're making it a 15-10 game, which means the Cowboys have to score. And if there's one thing, like we were just talking about with the defense, that has been proven tonight, is that the Cowboys are not able to puncture this defense. I don't know what it is, if it's the defensive front, if it's the secondary that you were talking about that's full of Ohio State guys. The Cowboys have not had a good night. This prolific offense, 10 points. That's it. So I'm feeling really good if I'm the Saints and I'm just running out the clock, run out those timeouts, take the field goal, make it a 15-10 game, and say, look, if you're going to beat us, beat us. And they did that in the first week against the Texans, and it got a little dicey there, but they pulled it out.
Right.
Do it again here. Have faith in that defense. Or lose, and then Bueller and I are happy because we're Falcons and Bucs fans.
And we will be sure to harass our colleague Josh Wilson.
That coward. He's in Buffalo.
He's not even in Buffalo. He's in the state of Buffalo.
That's the almost worst place to be.
But yeah, the Saints are in a great. The Saints are in a great spot here. You waste all the Cowboys' timeouts, you kick a field goal, and then you'll have probably under a minute left on the clock, and then you got Dak, who's only averaging 6.5 yards per attempt, which is okay. But he hasn't really been throwing the ball downfield. I mean, neither quarterback has over 200 yards passing on the day. No touchdowns either. The only thing you have is a INT from Teddy Bridgewater very early in the game.
Do you put Taysom Hill in at any point during this next succession of plays?
Yes.
How many?
Every other play.
Okay. So it's the old Tom Landry style, switching every other play with the quarterback. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know if that worked for Tom Landry.
It did not work for Tom Landry.
That was
one of his innovations that died. As we're getting a nice aerial shot of the Smoothie King Stadium.
Mercedes.
R.I.P. the Pelicans.
Superdome, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Smoothie King Center.
All right. First down, Kamara gets it and doesn't go anywhere.
Nowhere.
So he goes nowhere, and the Cowboys use their timeout. So look at that. If we put our Nostradamus minds together, we're predicting the future here because the Cowboys call a timeout, stop the clock with $1:56 to go. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so they're showing a graphic here that the Chiefs, the Patriots, the 49ers, and the Cowboys all undefeated. Let's knock the Cowboys off that because let's say they lose tonight. Chiefs, Patriots, 49ers.
Okay.
Who's the last one standing? Undefeated.
Last one standing undefeated without looking at their schedule.
Just gut feeling. Bueller gut feeling. You're betting your Bueller bucks on it.
Bueller bucks. That is a very precious currency to me. But I would say I'm going to say New England is the last team standing because I feel like you got a decent test from Buffalo on the road. They played a physical style. I think that you can make adjustments. I think that they can do stuff with like, you know, the offensive line. They're clearly working through something there. Whereas the Chiefs, it's like, I don't really know if you can improve the secondary. Like, the Chiefs will lose a game. I mean, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they're both gonna play each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and I think that's the thing. If they get to that point and they're both still undefeated,
I don't think they're both gonna be undefeated by that point.
You don't think they're gonna be undefeated by that
unless
point?
they're playing next week, which I don't think they are.
No, I don't. Look it up. I don't know when they play.
When? Okay, so
we have an injury timeout for the Cowboys. They were going to take a timeout anyways because it's third down.
Okay, looking at the Patriots' upcoming games, okay, they've got at the Redskins, the Giants win, at Jets win, Browns win. At Baltimore, that's
a win. Depending on what Lamar Jackson you get, that's a win.
They do have a really tough stretch here of 5 games at Baltimore, at Philadelphia, home for Cowboys, at Texans versus the Chiefs. So there's probably about 2 losses.
They might lose to either the Cowboys or the Eagles. That's an interesting one.
Okay, so
is it in Philly or is it in Foxborough?
It's in Philly, middle of November. So there's a good chance where the Patriots can get unscathed through October and be 8-0. Their November slate is tough, but I mean they do have a bye there, but you do have an extra week to prepare to go on the road to play Philadelphia.
Teddy Bridgewater was just running for his life, and he got murdered at midfield. So now the Saints are out of field goal range. The Saints are no longer in field goal range because Teddy Bridgewater just took a brutal sack.
Teddy Two Gloves, what are you doing?
Oh, Drew Brees is a meme on the sideline. He's like, oh my God, the Cowboys, they are out of timeouts, but Jalen Smith just ended Teddy Bridgewater, who was trying to run around and try to make something happen.
I don't even know if that's a stunt. He just ran around everybody and just came back there. And
so Hyder ran him into Jalen Smith.
All right, looking at the Chiefs part of the equation, they're next. Okay, home for the Colts versus the Texans, at the Broncos, Packers, Vikings, at Titans, Chargers. I think the Chiefs are probably more likely to lose earlier than the Patriots are.
I can't even think about that right now, Bueller, because we have a crisis in New Orleans.
I know we have a crisis.
Why did they not run the ball?
Why didn't they
run the ball? He dropped back to throw it. Run it. Or just throw it away. I don't even like the Saints, and this is making me angry. And Ron Burton, why don't teams run the ball? I don't know, Ron. Because we're not the head coach of these teams, apparently. As the Saints punt this away, and we'll see where the Cowboys are going to start with field position. So this changes everything now, because in our previous scenario, we said that they were going to run down all the timeouts for the Cowboys, kick the field goal, and then make this you need a touchdown to win type of scenario. Now all that the Cowboys need to do is get into field goal range inside, and they win the game. 14 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter, overtime for Dak Prescott.
Tie for the
Pay
most
the
since
man.
he came into the league.
Hashtag pay the man.
Hashtag pay the man. They're gonna pay him $80 million now?
I'm furious. That was so stupid. All right, let's see if this defense can live up to it because we just talked them up. Hashtag Cowboys Nation. Yes. And Prescott goes down. Goes Prescott inside of the 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have ourselves a capital B ball game.
And looks like Tyron Smith is down.
Tyron
That is
Smith.
not good.
That is not good. He's on a knee, so it's not super terrible, but he is coming off the field. He can't put any weight on one of his ankles. Now he's going down.
That is a big dude that is hurt.
That is a big cog on that offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys. So, minute 25 left to go. Let's see what happened here on the replay. We're looking at 77 on the edge. And,
yeah,
Prescott goes right into his ankle.
Goes right into his ankle.
Oh, God, no. Ew, grody. Yeah. Bueller, I'm not a doctor, but ankles are not supposed to bend that way.
That is...
In my non-medical opinion. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's...
Maybe it looks worse than it is, but it... Also, shouts to the guy in the cowboy hat here. That is Texas.
Texas.
This guy's name's probably like
Tex.
Jed or something like that.
Cleat.
I'm Jed.
Bow. Tie.
Bo Cleat.
Bow cleat. Tie.
All right, so a minute 15 seconds left to go. 2nd and 21 for the Cowboys.
Minute 13 and counting.
And Prescott dumps it off to Ezekiel Elliott, and nothing exciting happened other than more clock is going to run. The Cowboys have 0 timeouts to stop it, and they need to get into field goal range. So actually, this is still a pretty winnable situation for the Cowboys. 3rd and 12. You need a first down. That's kind of where this starts. Is Prescott got pressure from behind, and did he catch that?
Looks like he did.
That's a catch?
Yeah.
All right.
What a play by
Amari Cooper gets the first down, 40 seconds, and ticking off of the clock. We're only at the 25, 26 if you're the Cowboys.
Looks like they're going to probably review that.
You're looking at this. 34 seconds left to go. There's an official review to see if Amari Cooper made this sideline catch. If he did, it is a first down. If he did not, it is 4th down, and that's a catch.
That's a catch.
The ball moves, but it never hits the ground.
That's a catch.
That's a catch. So, since we're never wrong, as been established in the last 5 minutes of us having prediction conversations, let's say that this is a catch. What do you do if you're the Cowboys? Do you go to the sideline again, or do you try to go deep, get that into field goal range, and then spike that?
I personally would want to go deep, but this is Dak Prescott, and he doesn't do that, so you're probably going to have to go sidelines.
They are at the 26, so they got a little ways to go to get in field goal range. But they are indoors, and they have a good kicker.
You got to get, 40 more yards? No, I'm trying to think, what is the range if Lutz is... do you think Lutz could make a 60-yarder if necessary? No, Mayer, not Mayer.
Lutz, I mean...
Mayer, not Lutz. I get the...
You mixed that one up on me. Call stands, it's a catch.
Call stands, it's a catch.
What was the over-under on this game? What was the line? What are we talking? Because we know a lot of gambling degenerates in our lives, being 2 of them ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
How much money are we going to lose on this, Bueller?
How much?
Depending on how this shakes out. Oh, and your computer dies.
Yeah.
This is great. Oh, it's up in the air and it's incomplete.
The computer dies.
Did the whistle blow?
I think so.
The whistle blew.
Think so.
No, we're calling this a touchdown for the Saints. Are we? I'm confused as to what's happening here. So this is either an incomplete pass because Dak Prescott was throwing the ball forward, or it was a pass that was thrown backwards in the eyes of the officials. Is this a backwards pass? That is a forward pass. This is like the Music City Miracle. Remember when they went back and looked to see where it was? This looks like it's a forward pass.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, the Saints just won the game because they returned a fumble. Where does he let go of the ball? Oh, wow. This is a tough one. I don't think you call this. I think this is not the spot to say that this is a backwards pass.
This
is too tight.
This is incompletion.
It is an incompletion. It is an incompletion.
It is an incompletion.
So there we go.
Went a couple yards forward.
We just foamed at the mouth for nothing, but All right, 2nd and 10. Half a minute left to go in this game. We can see if the Cowboys can get into field goal range. So far, not so good, and that streak continues. And Amari Cooper!
Flag.
And the Saints are going to get a pass interference here.
That's like the first time.
Holy cow.
That's the first time Dax attempted to throw moderately deep.
Oh, are we calling this on Amari?
On Amari.
This is offensive pass interference.
Oh, man.
Oh, how the turntables have turned.
Basically, whatever we are predicting has been wrong every step of the way.
It's even worse because we're like 20 seconds behind on the stream.
Yeah,
so we sound even stupider. People are screaming at the stream. They're like, it's an incomplete pass, you nincompoops.
You guys are so stupid. You hate the Saints.
Well, you mean you let your computer die. That wasn't a smart move.
You know?
You know what you did. It's all right, Bueller. I forgive you. 25 seconds left to go. It is 2nd and 24. The Cowboys... Do they get into field goal range? That is the big question. They have got no timeouts. Prescott, as you've established, doesn't like to go deep, and he's going deep here, and he is incomplete.
Quadruple coverage to Cooper.
Hell. Yeah, quadruple coverage. Yikes. All right, so
3rd and 20.
the Cowboys are down to their final 2 plays. Even if they get a first down, they have no timeouts left. There's 17 seconds left, so they have a very limited number of plays left to go. Eli Love Dem Birds is going to go to bed. Okay, thank you for the update.
Thanks for the update.
Don't go to bed yet. There's 17 seconds left.
I mean, we could see the Big Easy miracle here.
The Big Easy miracle. I mean, the Saints were subjected to... or the Saints were the perpetrators of that in Duval, remember? And then they missed the extra point.
River City Relay? Yeah.
The River City Relay. Prescott is over the middle. Oh, and he hits him in stride, but they got to go because they have no timeouts left.
You got to clock it. They got to clock it.
Clock it. 5 seconds left. Are you going to get up there? Snap it, Dak.
They got 2 seconds.
This is going to be like a 1,000-yard field goal. That was deeply interesting and also massively stupid. Jason Garrett, who shows no emotion, now has the emotion of anger on his face. Incredible. So they're going to have to do a Hail Mary here.
I've never seen that man look that angry before.
He like barely showed emotion, too.
He's usually
get a flag. Esmond Lopez says, I'm going to sleep. See, you got to go to school. Have fun. School is cool. Stay in. Read your books.
Learn things.
And check out FanSided.com tomorrow to see how this game ends, Espen. Yeah. They needed to get a flag. They needed something. What they didn't need was that, which was actually a pretty good play. He hit him in stride, and it looked like it was going to be a little bit more. If he would have got maybe just 10 more yards on that, this is a completely different scenario.
I feel like he really let it rip, though.
Last win without a touchdown for the Saints, by the way, 1998. Against Tampa Bay, because of course, but
I think at that point they hadn't won a playoff game in their franchise's history. And look how far they've come.
Yeah,
they won a Super Bowl. They've been one of the better teams in the NFC for the last decade and plus with Sean Payton and Drew Brees.
It's true, and Aaron Brooks.
And there's the boy wonder, Kellen Moore, looking like whatever he's going to draw up.
So we can only imagine how bone-crunchingly loud it is inside of the Superdome right now. As we are ready for a Hail Mary miracle on the Bayou. Are the Cowboys going home? Welp. Uh-oh. What do we got here? Oh, that's not going to get it done at all, my friend. Interception.
Interception by
P.J. Williams.
P.J. Williams.
And the New Orleans Saints are going to walk away from the Sunday Night Football game with a 12-10 win. They are now 3-1 on the season. The Cowboys lose. They are also now 3-1 on the season. Now that it's in the books, Bueller, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about the Saints? 3-1.
You could not have asked for a better second half of the first quarter. That sounds stupid, but you can't 3-1. You've lost Drew Brees. You won the 2 games that everybody thought you probably were going to lose. Your schedule evens up. You have a 1-game lead in your division already that's been in flux. Mm-hmm. Your defense, held the Cowboys to 10 points. At home, you won a game that you didn't play your best ball against a team that
Dak took a shot on that too.
Against a team you're probably gonna need the tiebreaker when it comes down. Yeah, he got lit up by Gardner Johnson.
Another Gardner, big weekend for
Gardners.
Wow.
But yeah, if you're the Saints, you got to feel really good about yourself right now. You could probably stake your claims like, are we the best team in the NFC right now? I think that is in play. I'm not sure if they are, but we have to take some more time to digest. But they're certainly in the mix. And what are your thoughts about Dallas at this point?
I still don't think that they're the best team in the NFC. I didn't to begin the night. I don't know who the best team in the NFC is because I really feel like this game encapsulates how we don't have any real idea of what is reality. We're living in the Matrix here where the Cowboys can score 30-plus points for the first handful of weeks of the season, and then they just get stomped. 10 points. It's all they get. They can't lead a comeback. Twice they had a chance to lead a comeback in the last 7 minutes of the game, and they didn't do that.
Yeah, it almost felt like, I'm not going to say, I don't know if this is the right way, but like it kind of felt like they kind of thought that, oh, this is just Teddy Bridgewater. We can come in here and get a victory. It kind of felt like they overlooked the Saints.
It did, yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
And I thought that like the Cowboys, with their roster and with their culture in place, that they wouldn't have done that. But maybe this is the case, or maybe it's a testament to the Saints' never say die culture. Maybe this is going to really propel them to to win 13 or 14 games like we said that they could.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're going to do that, but I think they could certainly win 12 games now, and they're clearly the best team in our division. And we're going to have to hear that from Wilson for the rest of the year. So that's going to be delightful.
I forgot about Wilson. God dang it.
I wonder if he's asleep if he went to sleep.
He probably is.
He's up.
He might be up. Anyways, all right, Bueller. Let's break this down real quick.
Okay.
The Saints, they get a 12-10 victory in New Orleans. So breaking it down. The Saints, they get a 12-10 victory in New Orleans. They are now 3-1. The Cowboys lose. They are also 3-1. Let's start with the Saints. Are they now legitimately in the conversation of being the best team in the NFC?
I think you got to put them there. This is you beat one of the two last remaining undefeated teams in the NFC. The 49ers are the only one that have not lost yet, but they were on bye this week. I think to be able to win a game against a team that you're expecting to probably play in the postseason, and coming off of a week of where you win in a very hostile environment on the road in Seattle.
Big time.
Those are two feathers in your cap that most other teams do not have. So I think you can certainly discuss if they are one of the better teams in the NFC at this point. I mean, you can probably argue for maybe somebody else, but they're right there.
Well, let's talk about the Cowboys then, because they're on the flip side of this. They get their first loss of the season. Their high-powered offense, which was averaging over 30 points a game for the first 3 weeks of the season, gets stomped down to just 10 points. If you're a Cowboys fan, are you concerned?
A little bit, because the Eagles won in Green Bay, and that's going to give them some momentum. And the Giants have won 2 games in a row. I don't think that they're a threat.
Do the Cowboys still win the NFC East?
Yes, because I think that they're going to play a more consistent brand of ball than Philadelphia down the stretch, just because I have a better understanding of what I'm going to get out of Dak week in and week out, whereas with Wentz, is he going to be healthy? Is the offensive line going to let him down? Is Nelson Aguilar going to drop passes?
Never know.
I think those are 2 really good teams in the NFC. I just think the Cowboys are still the best in their division right now.
All right. Well, we watched them do their magic tonight. It just wasn't enough for the Cowboys. The Saints, they come away with a victory. Week 4, almost in the books. Monday night tomorrow, we get the Steelers and the Bengals, which is a small duck fart to end the week.
Someone's got to win, or they can tie.
That's a lie. Nobody doesn't win because we've already seen one tie this year. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, subscribe, and also check out the Stacking the Box podcast, which we record every Tuesday. It comes out every Tuesday. It is myself. It is Matt Verderam, our NFL insider. It is Jeff Schwartz, who actually played football, something Verderam and I did not do, so he brings that lovely perspective. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play. Leave a 5-star review because you love it. Bueller, you love it.
I love it. I learn stuff. 5-star reviews. I learn something every week. Jeff has a bunch of great stories.
He does. He told a story about peeing in cups last week. Verderam told a story about how he drank the LSD spiked Gatorade at the Patriots game. It's great. You never know what you're going to get when you're listening to Stacking the Box. The only way to find out is to subscribe and listen every single week. We'll also be back next Sunday for another stream on FanSided YouTube. Subscribe. Don't miss it. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us everywhere. That is John Bueller. You saw Patrick Schmidt in here earlier. You saw Matt Verderam in here earlier. I am Josh Hill, and we will see all of you next week.